happy birthday to me. 34 today, as of February 1st. 34 trips around the sun. I want to thank you all for your love and support, generosity, all of that. Thank you for rocking with me. Usually I'm very low-key about my birthday. I really am. It's like, what do we want to do? Not much. But maybe I should take the whole month to celebrate my birthday. I don't know if I deserve it, but maybe it's just Aquarius energy. I don't know. But
Cleveland Browns have a new head coach. Sources tell the insiders that Todd Monken, the former Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator, is now going to be the Cleveland Browns' new head coach. Monken, obviously one of the better and highest paid coordinators in the NFL, certainly has done an exceptional job tutoring MVP Lamar Jackson. Now lands in Cleveland, where quarterback work and quarterback teaching is going to be paramount.
I got with Freddie 1 year. One thing I learned, don't take your job for granted. And the whole idea is to eliminate distractions, and we created it. We created distractions. That's what we became. I was a part of it. I have to own that. We were a part of it. We had a talented team, but we didn't play that way consistently. We took our job for granted collectively, and we didn't eliminate distractions. Every week it was something. Every week it was like a made-for-television show, that 2019. And we ended up earning what we got, which was a 1 year, one and done. And it wasn't because of talent. It's because we didn't do a good enough job. I didn't do a good enough job.
Our first is Donovan Mitchell from Cleveland. Seventh All-Star selection for Donovan Mitchell.
Rightfully so.
What has he done this season to make him an All-Star? Everything.
He's leading the Cavs. I mean, this guy is a scoring machine. His seventh selection being an All-Star. And just coming in season after season and just redefining his game, right?
Yeah.
Being a leader to this Cavs team.
This is the main event on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. I am Rob Rozycki. In the center is Double A, and on the far right, Eli Moon. How are we all doing today, gentlemen, on Double A's happy birthday?
Wow. Well, it's not my birthday, Rob, so I won't take too much of the time here, but I will say happy birthday to Double A. I mean, we could talk all day about him. I'm sure we will throughout this show, just about so many memories, but happy birthday, Double A. I'm doing great. The snow seems to finally stop here in Ohio, so I'm living. Double A, how are you feeling?
how long is this show? 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours? Well, it's all me all the time. And, I'm going to take all the airtime. I'm kidding. This has been a great day, great weekend. I said it all in the open, but, again, I've always been very low-key about my birthday. I really have. But now I don't care. Now it's you know what? I've had so many friends say they're going to take the whole weekend to celebrate their birthday. They're going to take the whole whatever. I'm taking the whole month. I'm taking the entire month because why not? Why the F not?
I mean, it kind of sucks that you have the shortest month, but I mean, that's probably not the first time you've heard that before, given the month of February and the whole situation around it. But yeah, it does it's only 28 days as opposed to 31.
Hey, we celebrate every 4 years when we get that 29th day. We celebrate. And I have friends who were born on February 29th, 1992. So every 4 years, they get the 29th. And I'm like, do you celebrate on the 28th or March 1st? And they always say, whichever day has the better weather. Right? Or that falls on a Saturday. That's what we'll celebrate.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
But I'm very happy because when you get to this age, there's one birthday present you want more than anything else.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Sorry, that was my Alexa. They could help me. Anywho, there's one thing you want more than anything else. You just want a home-cooked meal. And kudos to my mom, my brother. We had a great birthday dinner with a home-cooked meal, and it was great. I needed 2 cups of coffee to get fired up for the show today because that food was putting me to sleep.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Rob, how you doing?
Cold. I'm angry. Like, again, I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago. We are now positive that the Bible was written closer to the equator, because if it was written up here, hell would not be hot. I am just so tired of it. But other than that, I mean, everything's kind of going great in the homestead here. We're chugging along. We actually had dinner with Nikki's parents today. It was her mom's birthday was last weekend, but because we were all snowed in to hell and back, we decided that we'll postpone everything. It was hibachi, so I got steak and shrimp upstairs too.
Also, kudos to both of my partners here. Rob and Nikki took me out for a birthday dinner on Friday, which I greatly appreciated. And also, thank you for not telling the staff that it was my birthday, because I do get embarrassed if it's.
Come on. Are you serious?
We don't need to be pulling the tacky bullshit. It's just,
okay. We're not going to pull the tacky bullshit. But I remember being at a Mexican restaurant about 8-9 years ago, and everybody let everybody know that it was Eli Moon's birthday, and I got to wear the sombrero and everything.
You had a picture of you in a sombrero as your Facebook avatar for like 3 years after. So yeah,
sure did.
I forgot we did that. Oh man, that was hilarious. And kudos to Eli, because when I invited myself to his place and Papa Moon's place for the Super Bowl next weekend, they both say, "Sure, come on in."
Yeah,
because I always feel there was one time, real quick, our buddy Jack John, when he lived here in town, I just invited everyone to his place. Not my place, his place. And I didn't tell Jack John until I already invited everybody. And I'm like, oh, crap, my bad. He was cool with it, but I'm like, oh, no.
Dude, you know what? I think, it's like Craig Sager said back in the day. He said, you'd rather ask for permission than, or beg for forgiveness and ask for permission, and we've kind of done that throughout our lives, I feel like, and look how far we've gotten. So
and shout out to everyone who's wishing me a happy birthday. One of the comments, since you brought up Craig Sager, was from our old classmate Michelle from OMS back in the day.
Yeah,
She texted me. She was like, "Happy birthday, Black Craig Sager." I don't have any of his suits or any of that, but I do appreciate all the great messages and stuff. Thank you, guys. And the only thing I don't like, and I blame the NFL schedule for this, Eli and Rob.
Yeah.
Because they added an extra week to the regular season schedule, the Super Bowl no longer falls on my birthday.
No,
I no longer get
the consolation, though, is at least it falls the day before President's Day, which if you got a real job, you'll actually get the day off after the Super Bowl. So we'll have that going for you. But to get back to business, and again, happy birthday, Double A.
34th birthday, not 41. Rob.
Oh, you noticed that. I was going to wait to see how long you were going to take to notice that little.
I saw that for the last 5 minutes. I was going to leave it alone, and I'm like, no,
that's fine.
Don't put that voodoo on me.
We'll change it in due time. But to get back to business here, I wish there was as much love for the Browns' new head coaching hire as maybe there was for Double A's birthday. I think it'd be going a lot better in Berea if that were the case. But Eli Moon was on air for about 2.5 days straight with Browns head coaching coverage. I think at some point in time, Bill Cowher was linked to the job. But nonetheless, it's going to be Todd Monken. He is now the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. He got a 5-year deal. He has already, at least on camera anyway, made nice with Schroeder. And named an offensive coordinator, Ryan Switzer. He's taken him up from Baltimore. He was actually the run game coordinator the last couple of years while Derrick Henry was wreaking havoc on the NFL. So if you're Quinshon Judkins, you probably like life right now. But we've had a few days to kind of sit and chill and be human beings again and go back to our lives, because it seemed like every time I went to go do something like shopping or grabbing gas or whatever, it was like, we got to jump on air. Stupid shit's happening. now that we've had a chance to become adults again and kind of process this hire, how are we feeling about the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns, gentlemen?
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. Double A. I know I talked a lot about it earlier in the week, and I was upset when it first broke. Because I guess I just got to the idea of wanting one of these young offensive minds. I wanted Grant Yadinsky from Jacksonville, the OC there, who just took a pay raise to stay in Jacksonville. Or maybe, Nate Shieldhouse, who the Browns had interviewed and flew out to Los Angeles the day after the NFC Championship loss for the Rams. And it was Shieldhouse watch for the last few days, the beginning of the week here on the Inside Edge Network. And thanks to all that tuned in. Appreciate you very much. But with that being said, I guess then I started going to Jim Schwartz, Rob, and Double A. I'm like, maybe it's Jim Schwartz. Maybe you just do the in-hire, the internal hire. Buffalo did it with Joe Brady. Maybe the Browns are going to do that. And then you just hear Todd Monken, and you think of 2019. So my first thought was thinking of him being loose-lipped and going over to other teams, telling how bad it is. But we did see in the intro even from Baltimore Ravens, his time there, that he explained it was a mess. So I guess to answer your question, long story short, Rob, I feel a lot better about Todd Monken. When you look at the stats, you see that he is offensively sound. He's touted one of the best offenses in the league with the Ravens. And now we're at a point where can he develop these young guys into becoming a strong offense? I guess my only fear is, and we'll dive into that later, is just like, what does this mean for the rest of the organization for the Browns? Because his hire wasn't just a hire. It seemed to cause a ripple effect in the organization. But as far as Todd Monken, just about Todd Monken, what he brings, I feel a lot better about it if he can implement what he's trying to do. And it seems, Double A, that he's bringing in a lot of familiar buddies. It almost feels like the Browns are getting payback from like 1995. Like, they're like, you know what? You took our team, so we're going to take all your coaches now in 2026, Baltimore. You took our team back then, you know what? So, I feel a lot better about Todd Monken.
Well, it kills John Harbaugh because the staff that's now here in Cleveland, John Harbaugh wanted that in New York. And he's
that's kind of gutting the Giants,
Yeah, so if we're just comparing the Browns to the Giants, who's in a better position from a coaching standpoint, maybe it is the Cleveland Browns. I think, and I said this earlier in the week, I think once you take away the rumor process, right, we were led to believe that they wanted to pair a young guy with Jim Schwartz and, the next Sean McVay type of situation, and you really just evaluated Todd Monken as one candidate. He has a vision for Shedeur Sanders. I think it was not by accident that you saw the Cleveland Browns tweet out their first meeting of, hey, we tried to draft your ass last year in Baltimore. That was not by accident. But, once you take out the emotions and stuff, you see what he's been able to do with the running game. You see he is able to do what Stefanski has never been able to do, and that's adapt to his roster as opposed to a roster adapting to his style of play calling. And, you want to talk about what is the plan for Shedeur Sanders. I don't want to say this also, but it is true. If Deshaun Watson plays next year, what is the plan for Deshaun? What's the plan for any quarterback that's playing? And the number one thing you need is development. And I think with Todd Monken, I think that's huge. And in that open, I wanted to put that in there because, the one season he had here in Cleveland in 2019, Rob, was just it was a joke. But it was a joke because they had us a head coach.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Freddie Kitchens run, I think we saw that the wheels were coming off, during training camp. And, it's almost like, can you really judge anybody and the way they were kind of doing things throughout? I mean, I think everyone just kind of turned into survival mode. There was no rudder steering the ship. So, at least he's smart enough to and humble enough to acknowledge that, maybe he was part of the problem too, and, moving on and learning from it, because that's about all you can really do. And that's all you can really ask for him to do in that situation. I'm not going to blame him. It was Freddie Kitchens' ship after all. But you talked about the Shedeur or Deshaun or whoever's going to be quarterback. and the fact that they did want to draft Schroeder last year, probably, as the backup role for sure. But, and the fact that he is willing to kind of just tailor an offense to a particular quarterback. Before Baltimore, he was at Georgia running that offense. And, and we saw everybody and, won a couple of national titles there, with Stetson Bennett both. And that was more of a, run, throw it around kind of a situation. Tampa Bay, he had Jameis Winston humming it around. I think he was the OC when Jameis had his 30-30 season. So he's, he can be an option kind of coordinator with Lamar or a running quarterback. And he could also be Eric Coryell, let's throw it around, and gunslinger and see what's going. So, yeah, you are right. The fact that Kevin Stefanski constantly tried to jam a square peg into a round hole. I think, Monken's a little bit more pliable. And even if he's not pliable, he wants to work with Schroeder. So that would suggest that if he's not pliable, it's going to be in a way that's still going to benefit Schroeder. So at least the Browns have somebody who is I like the fact that he's a little older and, maybe first-time head coach, but he has been there, done that. So you got somebody who's a little bit more of a calming presence, but I still think it's kind of an uninspiring hire. And I still think that it is, because again, we kind of got hyped up for the young offensive minds, just like Eli was saying. And we got basically the defense or the offensive version of Jim Schwartz, which we're all kind of sitting here going, then why not hire Jim Schwartz? So even the consolation prize was still a little bit better than this one. And I also think because of the Schwartz situation and the upheaval you guys were talking about, the ripple effects, they're going to have some major problems maybe in that defensive side of the ball, because you got guys that were going to bat for him. Miles went to bat. Denzel went to bat for him, the two high-profile guys. Or really, in Miles, the only bona fide Hall of Famer you have on this roster right now, or on the defense, was backing him up. And how does he feel about that? How does Denzel feel about that? Who's going to come in and run this defense? And is this scheme going to be as effective as Jim Schwartz? So there's going to be a lot of questions. And that's why I think it kind of created a few more problems than it solved. But if you find the quarterback, if you find the guy who can work with him, then every other problem is solvable. So,
well, that's why
we're thinking,
right. But that's why I like Monken from the standpoint of you have an adult in the room who can solve those problems. Like you have a grown man in there. That's why I didn't really feel. I love the idea of bringing in one of those young kids, Udinski. I love the idea, but if Schwartz was still going to be here, and there's now a chance that he's still going to be here because he's still under contract, you need a clear leader in that locker room with Monken. I was just looking at this report. I kind of hate the fact that we're on video all the time because you can see when I'm looking at notes on the other computer screen. But Mary Kay posted today on Cleveland.com that when the list was narrowed down to the final three, Todd Monken was Andrew Berry's first choice. And Monken in the coaching search blew everybody away in his interviews with the Cleveland Browns. So something changed from the reported, we want to pair, a young guy with Jim Schwartz to, holy smokes, the best guy for the job is this 59-year-old guy who's been in the league who's been around football for a long time. That tells me either he blew them away because he's really that good, or those other young candidates are simply not ready to be a head football coach at any NFL team.
Yeah, I mean, I get what Rob's saying, though, AA, and I get what you're saying, too, but it is still worrisome because, to Rob's point, and let me be clear, I feel better. I know I said I feel better. I still don't feel great. I still don't feel great about this. I think there is still a chance that this could be a retread. We talked all, coaching search for the Browns about retreads. In a way, this is a retread for the Browns. It's not their head coach, but it is a guy who had a pretty prominent role here in the organization. And my fear is, so right now, I feel a little bit better after researching the stats, after looking at, what he can do with offenses. And the Schroeder video made me feel really good as a Schroeder guy who I believe he can have a really good year this upcoming year with the full offseason, knowing he's going in as a starter. But just knowing that he was loose-lipped last time. He's talking in that clip in the intro about, well, chaos and we made mistakes. Okay, but you're part of that. That's like you're a very big part of that. You're calling the offensive plays. So that's where I start worrying. I'm starting to ease up now. But come September, I'm going to get worried again because this really could still be a situation where in September, October, we're mad because Grant Yadinsky and Nate Shieldhouse are still doing their thing at their respective organizations. The other coach is Mike McDaniel, who declined to go, with the Browns, is balling in Los Angeles on that offense. I guess that's where my fear goes. I feel better, but I don't feel great. Now, I will say this real quick, too, about Deshaun Watson. You brought him up, AA. When it comes to Watson, I really think there could be a possibility, guys, where we're seeing the end of the Deshaun Watson era here. Not just like saying he's going to sit on the bench and chill for the next couple of years. The Browns may use this training camp and preseason to have a quarterback battle with Schroeder and get the value up to at least tradable and get off this contract. There are teams that still need a starting quarterback, and at one point Deshaun Watson was viewed as a starting quarterback. So I could see it where the Browns use this to try to boost the value of Deshaun Watson and move off of it. I get there's still a lot of money on that contract, but not as much as when he signed it.
That contract is not movable.
It's going to be a hit.
Yeah.
They can take it. They can take it if they have to. The nice thing is that the cap kind of increased $30 million from last year. I think it's going to be about 301 to 305. So there is some room for that, and it's not the $90 million, $100 million hit that it would have been last year, 2 years ago. So that is doable. The issue with the trading of the Watson stuff is that if Watson is good enough to be even a desperate option for another team to be starting, for them at any given point in time, then I think with the fan base, and I think it would be a natural question, why wouldn't he be good enough to start for the Browns at that rate? Maybe you could argue that he's not re-signing, and we got to play him for the long term. But if he's good enough to play for somebody else, wouldn't he be good enough to play for the Browns?
I think it's how the Browns and I know you got some thoughts. I think it's all about how the Browns view Shedeur Sanders and view the quarterback room. Because if they believe Shedeur Sanders can lead this franchise for the next 10 to 15 years with Todd Monken, whoever, whatever the coaching situation looks 10 years from now. It's crazy to think even 2-3 years ahead of time. But when you look at that's I guess what it's going to come down to, Rob, is do the Browns value Shedeur Sanders as a franchise quarterback? Because I think if that becomes a possibility, like I said, I get it, guys. That contract is still a monster. But there are teams out there that are desperate. That's all I'm saying. And I think if Deshaun Watson were to show at least signs of what he was before all this mess that we've inherited, I think it could be a probability where the Browns go, hey, we can get you somewhere else. We're done. We're cutting ties. We're moving on with our future. Because Deshaun Watson isn't in the cards for the future, so why should he be in the present?
I just don't like the idea after this past season going with that 4 quarterback competition, which was nonsense. I don't like the idea of, honestly, I'm not a big fan of going into this season with a QB competition. I know, at the beginning of the camp, I get it. Deshaun's going to have to get reps. He's going to have to get reps. But this is Shedeur's job to lose. And if Schroeder can do what he needs to do this offseason and in camp, he should have that starting job wrapped up within the first week of camp. That should be, even the first preseason game. That's that. He's our starter. He's our guy. I do want to real quick, wow, double wording there. I think this is it right here. Do we have Schroeder meeting Todd Monken? Do we have that clip, Eli?
Yeah, we sure do.
Go ahead and play that.
What's going in at? Oh, yeah.
Oh, young man.
How you doing? Welcome back to the States.
How we doing, man?
Good.
Yeah, we tried to draft your ass last year. It's all worked out.
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yeah, that's what I was about to tell you.
Someday we'll get a chance to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, sit down.
I like the high school teacher vibes with the blazer and jeans.
Yeah.
That's the cool teacher that tries to relate to his students and is a really chill guy.
Yeah, courtesy of the Cleveland Browns. If there's nothing else about Todd Monken that I like, give me a head coach with personality. Give me a head coach that's going to actually talk to the media, that's going to actually relate to his players, that's going to actually, be excited to talk football and, character, just little things like that. That is cool with me. And again, like I said a few moments ago, it is not by accident that the Browns put that clip out when they did.
Oh, God,
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think that was kind of the signal that Schroeder is, I'll at least say, the clubhouse leader for starting quarterback. And I think that has a lot to do with Schroeder, a little bit Schroeder, of course, but the fact of, what are the other choices right now? If you go veteran, it's a Mac Jones or a Malik Willis. If you go draft, any other quarterback besides Roberto Mendoza looks to be kind of are you going to grab Trinidad Chambliss? You're going to grab Ty Simpson? You're going to grab, any of those lower end? Because with those guys, you're talking about the 24th pick or even a second, third round pick for those guys. So, is that any better than Schroeder or Dylan Gabriel at that rate? So I think the Browns are in a basically kind of a shotgun marriage where, like it or not, we're going to be together for the next 12 months. So, and I'm not saying they hate the idea of bringing Schroeder in, or Schroeder doesn't have a chance to take the job long term, but I think he is aided by the fact that there is no, this isn't 2 years ago where you got Drake May sitting there top 5 still. You don't have that kind of option that maybe you might have in the last few years. So, because Schroeder is going to be here, and unless he screws up, I think it's his job to lose.
Yeah, and obviously, this draft is going to be about adding the pieces around Schroeder. Because I feel right now he's the front runner. We keep talking about it. He's the front runner for the job. Like, we keep talking about it. So it's about adding those guys, whether it's a Jaylon Tyson out of Arizona State at receiver, a Carnell Tate out of Ohio State, or, even we talked on Inside Edge Primetime, me and Chad Bryan, we talked about Makai Lemon. I would not be surprised if a guy like Makai Lemon went off the board very early from USC, a speedster. And one thing about Todd Monken, he likes to go fast. He likes to have speed in his offense. It's very clear. One of the first draft picks in the Ravens organization when he was there was Zay Flowers. And Zay Flowers has exploded as their wide receiver 1. So I would not be surprised, and I know we'll talk draft. We'll have plenty of time to talk draft. But I would not be surprised if the Browns surprised us with Makai Lemon or somebody we're not expecting on our big boards right now.
Well, if you had to ask me right now at 10 till 11 here on the 1st of February, happy birthday, AA.
That's right.
I would say the Browns are probably going to trade down. I could see them doing kind of what they did last year and trading down, but staying in the top 10 because I am reasonably sure they're going to be looking at a big, ugly offensive lineman. And I know that that kid out of Utah is kind of the top-ranked dude. I've seen him in some mocks go as high as 2 or 3 even. So if he's not there, and I'm the Browns and I'm going to pick a lineman anyway, might as well move down 3 or 4 spots, get a little value, pick the guy I was going to grab anyway, and move on with my day. But I wouldn't. I'm reasonably sure they're going to address that line pretty quickly in the draft. But yeah,
you can also make a case they need to address that wide receiver room.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In that draft too.
And it's going to be, how deep is each, class respectively? Where can they get the value in the second and third round? So, yeah, again, we're going to have plenty of time to talk for the draft. And by the way, too, the Browns still have to fill out their coaching staff. So, who is going to be the DC? Is it going to be Jim Schwartz? Is it going to be somebody else? Is Jim Schwartz going to punch that guy? We don't know. And then along with the offensive line coach, along with a lot of these positional coaches. That's going to be their first step. Andrew Berry is going to be working on the draft. But, yeah, right now at least the Browns know what they're going to be working with moving into the next few months and the beginning of this offseason.
Let me ask you guys this, because if Jim Schwartz is going to leave, he has to make that decision, right now, right? He would have to, if you want to raise hell about your status and you're still under contract, you got to make that call now. And I think right now, the fact that we haven't heard much from him since Monken was high, except the day of, right? It's been 3 days now. We haven't heard much of anything.
No, it wouldn't be the first kind of managerial situation where, okay, you see the dude storm out and you're like, okay, give him 48 hours. We'll give him a call, see how he's feeling and where he's at mentally. I mean, yeah, but we'll see. I mean,
And
it's interesting to see how that moves forward.
And I know we're going to pivot here in a second, but real quick to answer that question, Double A, I'll answer with a question. Where is Jim Schwartz going to go? San Francisco just filled up. They're bringing in Raheem Morris. So where exactly is he going? I mean, there's not just defensive side of the ball here. There's not a spot I can imagine off the top of my head that is a better position right now for Jim Schwartz in 2026 than continuing to show why he's a dominant defensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns, because I know this was a crazy year in terms of head coaching openings. I know at one point, 10, 11 openings. So, but there will be openings again next year because it's the NFL. So if you're Jim Schwartz, where exactly, all due respect to you, and I appreciate what you've done for the defense, I want you to do it again this year, upcoming. But where are you going exactly, if it's not Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, are you willing to sit at home for a year? Like,
right.
Is this fight worth it for you to sit at home for a year? And also, too, this is a conversation that Todd Monken and Jim Schwartz, they're going to have a conversation just to see, dude, he's the head football coach. I know he's almost 60 years old, but it's like, all right, do I have your respect in the locker room? And again, these coaches, they've known each other for years, so it's not like, again, if I became the head coach of the Cleveland Browns at age 34, pretending like I had a rich football history, can I look at Jim Schwartz and say, hey, this is my team compared to a top month? Like that would be hard to do. But listen, I mean, compared to some of the other coaching hires, I think I'm confident in saying, as of right now, this is not the worst hire out of all the NFL head coaches. So I think we're in good shape. I'm actually really excited now about Todd Monken. It's kind of that Mike Pettin energy a little bit, where you don't get excited about Mike Pettin, but then you realize, holy smokes, this is actually a good football coach. You can do something with that.
And the other thing is no one ever really knows. I mean, you're not going to know until he's starting, gets through a training camp, starts in game, and actually is able to handle the sideline. Like Nick Sirianni when he had his intro presser in Philadelphia. Like everybody thought that was a joke. He was all over the place. Nobody knew what the hell he was talking about. He ended up winning a Super Bowl. So, yeah, you're actually going to have to see it happen. I mean, we can pontificate all we want, but, they're actually going to have to do the work, and they're actually going to have to play the game. So, I mean, I guess the work starts now. But I'm sure we'll be able to talk about the Browns for the next few weeks, months, throughout this offseason, NFL free agency draft, etc. We do have some Cavs news here on the main event. Inside Edge Podcasting Network, Eli Moon, AA Anthony Alford, I am Rob Rozycki. This was via Shams about 11 o'clock, late last night this broke. The Cavaliers, they were active in the NBA trade market. A lot of us were wondering if they were going to do anything, if they could do anything. And the answer is yes and yes. In this case, the Cavaliers traded DeAndre Hunter to the Sacramento Kings for Dennis Schroeder and Keon Ellis. It was a 3-team deal. It included the Chicago Bulls acquiring Kings forward Darko Saric and a couple of future second-round picks. It's cool because they can actually turn Hunter's salary into two guys. You got Dennis Schroeder, who is on his 11th team, I think, in 13 years. He's going to help out with defense. He's just kind of a dick, which I think kind of helps the team out where they need a little bit of edge. It's going to be Keon Ellis is kind of a backup point guard. He's good defensively. So they got a couple of pieces for DeAndre Hunter, who is not playing all that well. And then also apparently this is going to save the Cavaliers about $50 million in luxury tax bills. They're going to drop from 164 to 120. And get even closer to getting out of the second apron, and then we can actually start trading people again and making moves. So a lot has happened with a very minor, quote unquote, minor trade for the Cleveland Cavaliers. How do you think they made out, gentlemen?
I love this for the Cavs. They had been struggling with point guard depth. They let Ty Jerome go, obviously, in the offseason, which 2020 hindsight, clearly says it wasn't a great move. They've been hurting at point guard. Lonzo Ball, who I was very high on in terms of the preseason. Thought he would be a little bit more of an addition for the Cavaliers. He's had flashes, but he's still obviously coming back from a pretty serious leg injury that he's recovering, or knee injury that he's recovering from back when he was even with Chicago. So I think he'll keep coming around and it will give valuable minutes, but expecting him to give those 25, 30 minutes every night is going to be tough. So Keon Ellis, a younger guy, comes in here. Dennis Schroeder, as you mentioned, Rob, been moved around to quite a few teams, but he always produces. Always produces. Let's not forget, he was going to get a pretty big contract here a few off seasons ago, and he bet on himself, and it didn't work out back then. But he's still very productive. I think he's going to provide scoring in that second unit. He can be a spot point guard, and let's not forget what this also means for the Cavaliers, AA and Rob. They just traded for what? 2 guards? What's Darius Garland? A point guard? It sounds like Darius Garland might be a little bit more easy to move now in terms of a trade as far as the Cavs side, because now they have guards there that you don't necessarily need Darius Garland. You may have a drop-off in Schroeder in terms of 5 to 7 points. I'll take that if you can go move Garland and Allen or whoever. This is just me talking. Well, anybody for Giannis or one of these big names out there that can really change the landscape of the Eastern Conference.
Well, and that's what I was going to say too, and I'll let AA get in here in a couple seconds. This feels like the move before the move.
Mm-hmm.
This feels like they are gaining some options. I wouldn't be surprised too if they do make another smaller move to kind of acquire a lower first round pick, just to make the rules a little easier with, sometimes you can trade your first round pick, sometimes you can't, depending on when Steppy and rule, all that kind of crap. So yeah, this feels like a move before the move to kind of expand your options a little bit with just now less than a couple of weeks before the trade deadline.
Yeah, that's the big story. It's honestly not the players that you're bringing in. It's okay, what else, right? Like, what else can you do? Because this is, let's be real, we know what the expectations are for this team. It is finals or bust, and I get it. The Cavs had a great month of January, and the Cavs are in position to host a first-round series. But that's not the conversation we were having at the start of the season. Nobody was having that. It was that was expected. Like, you should be in first place or second place in the East, and you should be one of the favorites to go to the finals. So I think this is, honestly, it could be the calm before the storm. But it's sports. We all know, too, that this could also be it as well. What I don't want fans to do is to be locked into the idea that more moves are coming. It's very possible that this is it. This is the only moves that are going to be made, and you're going to have to live with it.
And the other thing is too is like in a world where the Cavaliers, it's not it's not 2K where you can turn off trade denials. Like, you can't force trades through. You're gonna you might want to do something, but somebody else might want to do it more. Somebody else might not want you to do it at all. Like, it takes 2 to tango in this situation. So yeah, the plan might be to make another move, but they might just not, especially with the second apron restrictions they do have. The plan may not just be able to be executed. For what it's worth, too, the Cavaliers are up 113-99 over the Portland Trail Blazers right now. They got about 6 minutes to go in the game. There is no Schroeder or any of the other additions for the trade right now. It's Wade, Allen, Mitchell, Merrill, and Tyson. It was your starting 5 tonight. It's the Cavs are a little shorthanded and everything too. So yeah, the Cavaliers at least are going to take care of business. But yeah, this feels like the move before the move for sure. At least to me, it does. And again, I'm with AA. That doesn't necessarily mean anything is 100% going to happen. We did get some good news though with the Cavaliers. Donovan Mitchell. He is made his now 7th NBA All-Star selection here. He is top 3 in 30-point games. I think he's top 4 in scoring overall. He is the leader of this team. I think a lot of fans were a little pissed off when he wasn't starting, but at least he's going to be on the roster. Incidentally, too, LeBron James, 22nd NBA All-Star appearance, 22 in a row, by the way. I asked just what the hell was he doing his rookie year, just screwing around? But
Yes.
no, that was the year that Carmelo went. Carmelo was an all-star, and I don't think LeBron was that year. But
That's crazy.
yeah, you had at least
because he was number 2 to Ricky Davis. I'm kidding. No, he wasn't.
Oh, double A.
maybe for about 7 minutes.
Dude, Ricky Davis, you both, Rob, you probably remember this more than Eli. Ricky Davis did not want to give the basketball up to LeBron his rookie season. He did not want to do it. It was hilarious watching him play.
Yeah, so like, dude, don't you understand what the operation is here? Like, bro, come on. Like,
Ricky Davis looked at him and said, "Welcome to my team," and the entire organization is just like, okay, somebody's going to be doing the welcoming, and it ain't you, Ricky.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Rob. Oh, no, yeah, I was. Oh, you no. After you, sir.
You gotta love remotes.
I'll take it from here.
Eli,
I'll take it.
No.
All right. Well, the mic's hot. I'll take it. So what I'll say, just to Rob's point about Donovan Mitchell, is I really think this has been one of his best years as a Cavalier. Not just on the floor, but what he's done for the future of the Cavaliers. We talk all the time, and Rob, we've had conversations about who should the Cavs trade if they were to trade somebody, right? Jaylon Tyson is making it easier to have a conversation about these core 4 guys. Because Jaylon Tyson is making his way into this core discussion when we talk to Cavaliers. He is a second-year player. He was a first-round draft pick for the Cavaliers. Our guy Rob is classified as a dog. The guy just plays good basketball. He is having his best stretch as a Cavalier here the last 2-3 weeks, really the last month, as he's been in the starting lineup more and more. And I think that makes it easier with these additions of Schroeder and Ellis, just to pivot back to the trade for a moment. I think in Tyson stepping in, the Cavs are developing depth where a Garland or any of these guys trading them isn't going to be as severe of a move as it would have been at the beginning of the season. And that's a kudos to Donovan, because Donovan took Jaylon Tyson under his wing. I heard, on a Cavs broadcast earlier this year about how he took Tyson under his wing. Tyson asked if he could come sit with him and go over game film, because Donovan was studying game film. And he sat with him, and he's took him under his wing since. And I think that's one of the biggest things in terms of just without stats that Donovan has done for the Cavaliers is established that next wave of talent. Because we haven't had a successful first-round draft pick here. DG and Mobley, they're good, but Tyson, man, watch out for Tyson. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, the thing is that we're DG and Mobley. Mobley was what, top 4. DG was top 6. They're both up there. High lottery picks. No one really expected much out of Jaylon Tyson at all. He actually, in a weird way, with the vibe of the whole thing, he kind of reminds me of the first time we were doing this show with another Cleveland player, where we were pushing hard for that, young prospect, that Ramirez kid, to be the everyday third baseman. And we were wondering why he wasn't for a while. And he did not give you a choice.
Yeah.
Jaylon Tyson's kind of doing that right now. No one really expected him to be, a significant piece this year, especially his second year in the league. Typically when you're talking about a veteran, an older team or a team that's looking to win, it is veterans and older players doing it. It's not the young bucks. I know Oklahoma City's kind of an anomaly, but typically, when LeBron came here, you get all the rookies out, you get all the old guys in, you try to win a championship. Tyson's kind of bucking that right now, and he's having a pretty good game right now. 15 points, 6 from 11 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3. So he's continuing that. But to move on to the All-Star point for half a second, I'm happy for Donovan, but I think it kind of shows the main reasons why this Cavalier team is 8 games over 500 right now, as opposed to 20 at the All-Star break last year. It was at Mobley and Garland and Mitchell were All-Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Mitchell, the reason why he is an All-Star is because he's had to be. That's why he's there. There's been really no other consistent scoring presence on the Cavaliers that's been able to kind of calm a game down or move it along, as the case may be. And Donovan's had to. His usage rates are through the roof. He is busting his ass every night, and it seems like the only time he can sit down is when the Cavaliers get fined $500,000. So he's, this kind of shows how important Donovan is to the whole thing. And he shouldn't have to be with all of this core four talent with Jaylon Tyson, who is helping out a lot. But I think with the whole move before the move thing, and to Eli's point, yes, this the way these guys have been playing and the way that maybe some of these young bucks have, if it is a Tyrese Proctor, Naquan Tomlin, and a lot of these young guys are really helping out in a big way. And if you notice too, there's game the other night. Oh, who are they playing? They're getting their asses kicked by
the Suns.
Yeah, by the Suns by 20 points. They brought the bench in, and all of a sudden it was a 10-point lead. So you do have that going. The guys are helping out here, and that's going to make those dudes easier to trade. Double A is throwing up right now the looks like the All-Star reserves for the NBA here. I got to get my big print on here like an old guy to be able to read all this kind of stuff. We got Mitchell, we got Jalen Johnson from the Atlanta Hawks, Karl Anthony Towns from the New York Knicks, at least for now. He could be another one of these guys that are going to be moving. Pascal Siakam, dog from the Indiana Pacers. Jalen Duren from the Pistons. The Pistons deserve a couple of All-Stars this year. Scotty Barnes from the Hawks, and Norman Powell, rounding it out from the Heat. Norman Powell's had a hell of a season too.
Yep. Barnes from the Raptors, Rob. Sorry, not the Rob. There's Raptors for Barnes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, wrong logo. My bad. Bad.
You're all good. All good.
And then the reserves for the West round out Anthony Edwards from the T-Wolves, Jamal Murray from the Nuggets, who just got Jokic back. So it looks like their days are going to be a little bit easier now. Chet Holmgren from the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kevin Durant from his ninth team right now. Yes. The Houston Rockets. I wouldn't be surprised if he's playing for the Shanghai Sharks next year. Devin Booker, a former teammate of Kevin Durant from the Phoenix Suns. Who the hell is?
Don't. I got this one. I have a song actually. It's
and LeBron James. But who the hell is this?
Yeah,
dude?
hey Eli, take this one.
I got it. I would be honored, fellas. Denny Avdija. He is the wing for the Portland Trailblazers, a sharp-shooting three-pointer. He has really taken the lead for Portland. With Damian Lillard being traded back there, but he's rehabbing, so he may not play this year is really the expectation out for most of the year, if not the whole season. They needed somebody to step up, and Jeremy Grant's been there and has been a guy that Portland can count on, but he is not a guy that you can build towards. Denny Avdija, they made a sneaky trade to get him in Portland, and he has just been lights out. And so much so that me and my bro narrator have become Denny Avdija fans. Like, we're with him. Like, if he can find his way to Cleveland someday, awesome. But we even made one of my last singles that I dropped, just quick plug, that you can buy for $1 straight through me, is Denny. I named it after Denny Avdija. So when I started hearing Rob start having some concerns about my guy Denny Avdija, man, like, but Portland has one with him. I will say he's young too. He's a young guy. He's under 25 years old. So Denny Avdija.
Yeah, he missed a nice game against the Cavaliers with a back injury.
Yeah.
By the way, what are they doing with
teams
right now in the NBA? Denny Avdija and the other guy on the injury report for the Portland Trailblazers is Vit Krejci. Like, are we just making shit up right now? Is this like Key and Peele time?
Well, I'll say
it's going to happen. They're going to be representing the world team.
First Israeli to get an All-Star nod.
Yeah.
So,
And just, and I said under 25, my apology. He is 25, but still 25 and under, a young player. And just to make us all feel older again, he was born in 2001. So
I was just going to say this. If you don't remember your day when 9/11 happened, you are young. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I think that's the cutoff at this stage right now. You got to remember what you were doing on 9/11. I think that's
talk to my mom and she'll give you the same talk about Kennedy's assassination. But yeah, I do get you with that. But and it was kind of a sad day when I worked with the first person in the kitchen who was born after that day. So yeah, it's definitely a weird thing, and just not cool. Also, too, remember in 2026 we are going to be dealing with people on the road who were born in 2010. So.
The year I graduated high school.
I was in 7th grade.
Actually, the fascinating thing now, I think 10 years now when we did this show, I now see the young energy I used to have in Eli now, and I see the wisdom that Rob had upon us 10 years ago.
You can call it crankiness too. It's fine.
That, mostly that.
That's funny.
And we got a couple minutes left here of this segment. We talk about All-Stars, talking about where the Cavaliers are at, talking about this whole situation. Mm-hmm. Two of the guys in this All-Star conversation, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James. LeBron making his 22nd one in a row. We all kind of know, okay, I think if LeBron James is not in the All-Star game, you're going to have roughly the same scene that you see in Minneapolis happen in front of the NBA headquarters. It is running ablaze right now. Rumor mills are going through the roof that the Cavaliers could be getting a new small forward coming into town next year for the third time. I guess we'll have time to talk about this because I highly doubt it's going to happen with the trade deadline. In 5 minutes or less, gentlemen, how are we feeling about 23 coming back to CLE?
From a basketball standpoint, love it. I mean, if you just eliminate the, all the emotional stuff, which is very tough to do, if you just eliminate that, that's the one glaring need with this Cavs team. So that would be huge. But I would also say too that this core four will soon, of the names that we have established, this core four will soon be a core two if you add LeBron to this roster. Because, again, we don't know what's going to happen with the second apron. If they're going to make any other moves, can they move off of Lonzo Ball? We'll see this week. So that would be the other thing. But yeah, from a fan standpoint, yeah, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. Give me a step closer to an NBA championship. Now, yes, will it come with all the regular season drama and stuff that we've been used to with LeBron? Absolutely. I like LeBron. I don't know about Rich Paul and his friends, that kind of deal. But, yeah, I would love it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page as AA, but I would love it more as an off-season signing and not giving up any of the assets. I think if the Cavs are going to put their chips in and try to make a big trade, it should be for Giannis Antetokounmpo. It should be for some of these big names that are out there right now, and they should try to add LeBron as the third piece of this missing puzzle. And I mean, that's at least where my mind goes, right? Okay, you made these moves with Schroeder and Ellis. You're going to probably make another move. That's at least my opinion. They're going to make another move. And whether it's for Giannis or one of these big stars, if you could add LeBron just as a free agent, I mean, that would be incredible for the Cavaliers. And ultimately, that's the only way I truly feel the best about this. I mean, don't get me wrong. I welcome LeBron. If the Cavs made a trade for him tomorrow, I'm going to embrace it. I mean, this guy brought us a championship. I get the leaving town, whatever. I mean, we can have a conversation. But at the end of the day, he makes this team better. Everybody's like, well, he's dropped off. LeBron dropping off is still better than 70-80% of the league right now. And that's what we have to have a conversation about. Does he make this team better? Yes. Will it add the drama? Yes. But AA, to that point, aren't we kind of already dealing with some in-season drama with the Cavaliers just without LeBron James?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I was
it's
only
a different
laughing.
type of drama.
I know, real quick, I was only laughing because if LeBron was traded here tomorrow, Eli's going to be on the air for 7 hours on our Inside Edge network, breaking this down.
I'll get my coffee ready now.
Yeah, so if LeBron is traded here to the Cleveland Cavaliers tomorrow, we will be on the air to break it down. I'm sorry, go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just going to say I don't think it's going to happen for a trade, and I like your idea of trading for Giannis. I don't think he's going to be available when the Cavs can trade for him, though. I'm reasonably sure Giannis is going to get moved in the next couple of weeks. If it's going to be I think Miami's been mentioned a little bit here. There's a few players involved. And the Cavaliers just simply do not have the flexibility with the second apron or the assets without the second apron to facilitate something like this. You know, with the money involved, you're talking about shipping Donovan Mitchell off. He's the only contract. Maybe Evan Mobley. The two guys you don't want to trade would be the two guys that you would have to trade, or one of them anyway. AA, you have a bad poker face. Everything okay?
Did you guys see Jared Allen's stats tonight?
Yeah, I was just about to go. Yeah, Cavs going final 130 to 111 with the Portland Trailblazers, and Jared Allen made somebody his bitch.
40 points, 17 rebounds, 5 assists.
4
Jared
blocks.
Allen basically telling the Cavaliers, if you go trade me, this is what you're going to miss out on. That's a statement performance by Jared Allen. Just
and I mean, you know, and just to go with the Allen thing and the Cavs win tonight, yes, and the Blazers are not going to be winning a title this year or next, but they're a team that's right around 500. They're not quite the garbage truck that has been the Blazers the last couple of years while they've been rebuilding. So, yeah, this is not just feasting on, you know, the corpse of the Charlotte Hornets or anything like that. Yeah, Jared Allen, you know, definitely went off. 40 points, as Double A said. Nice thing though for Donovan, you know, they won this game comfortably, and he was the third high man on the team tonight. Sam Merrill had 22 points. Actually, Jaylon Tyson had 18, and then after that was Donovan Mitchell. So Mitchell could basically take a night off. Cavs do win, but to go back to the whole LeBron thing, if you can add him as a free agent, cool. I don't know if you want to. He's kind of that, you know, you walk, you know, you're walking in the mall or something like that, and you see the you know, cool shirt or something like that. You're like, you know what? I would wear it, I would have it, but I don't want to pay for it. That's kind of where I'm at with LeBron. Like, I would want him on the team, but I don't want to give up any assets. I don't need to, you know, we don't need to start trading around. So yeah, free agency works for that for sure. It would be a good story. He would be wanting the retirement tour. That would be the other drama that we'd have to deal with. We would be the hospice nurse for LeBron's NBA career as the Cleveland fan base here. So it would be a lot to deal with. It would improve our chances to win a title. I don't know how much, but it would definitely make things interesting to talk about.
Let me follow up, though, on that point that you just made. So here's the doomsday scenario for the Cavaliers. Another second-round exit this year. If you get another second-round exit this year, the team as is done. Like, that's it. The team as is. So would they go one way and blowing things up and basically, Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley, and then figure out the rest of the team with young players and Tyson and others? Or do you swing the other way and see if LeBron is that extra bridge that can get you to that promised land? And I'm specifically mentioning second round because that's saying that this championship contending team at that point isn't close. Like, we're not talking about making the NBA finals and losing. Like, we're talking, again, not getting to the conference finals. Like, you're going to see a big swing one way or the other. I just don't know. I don't have a good read on what the Cavaliers would do if it's another second round exit this year.
Yeah, and that's why I'm really like stressing, guys. You know, and I know I'm like, if I the shows Giannis, rooting for him the most out, I guess, to get here, right? But that is something that completely changes the landscape, like I said earlier, of the Eastern Conference. Giannis and Donovan Mitchell have enough offensive firepower alone to compete with some of these defenses. And let's face it, the NBA is becoming more and more an offensive league. The scoring is at an all-time high in the NBA right now. So I think Giannis getting here is very important. And we did even have, and Rob, I know you have some thoughts. We did have our guys from Side Hustle Podcast. We have one of them here, so it's got to be Kyle Cornell back at the squad. But he said Garland, Allen, and Brannahan plus 3 first and a second for Giannis. They are just under the second apron. And he said he did run it through the trade machine, Rob. So maybe there is just ways. They got to get creative, guys. But removing $50 million in cap space via DeAndre Hunter trade is a pretty good start in the right direction.
Yeah, again, the move before the move. The other one I want to shout out to, and it was kind of a footnote in tonight's game. It was in the last couple of minutes, but just somebody I had a chance to cover a little bit with the other job. Tristan Enaruna for Cleveland State. He made his NBA debut tonight in garbage time. Last couple minutes of the game here against Portland, he had a one-shot attempt. He made it. So no matter what happens, he can hold his head up high and said he scored a couple of points in an NBA game. Good little player, had a nice career at Cleveland State. And I thought he was going to be playing in Europe pretty quickly, but he kind of surprised everybody by getting invited to a couple of camps the last few years, and he made it on with the Cavs. So nice work, Tristan Anaruna. Nice work, Cleveland Cavaliers. And Double A, you either have a question or you need to use the bathroom. What's up?
Hey, don't give away what we do during commercial. No, my last point. This is more going back to LeBron here for a hot second.
Mm-hmm.
For his sake, what does he want to do if he is playing basketball next year? And not just him, but his family. Because this is not going to be a simple situation of, A, pack up your things from your lifestyle in Los Angeles and move on back to Cleveland.
Oh no, he would be. He'd be out here for about a year with a, smaller place. Just kind of relocating because the kids are out of. Well, his daughter's still in high school, I believe, right?
I believe so.
But both the boys are out playing. They're playing. Well, in a case of. Actually, him leaving LA professionally might mess with the oldest a little bit more than personally. All of a sudden, Bronny James could be sitting here playing for Istanbul pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be interesting to see. And is it going to be a retirement tour? Is it going to be, a multi-year situation? I know he is 42 right now, but he's also an all-star. So we'll see how long he can actually contribute. And the nice thing is too, and the other thing is he ain't picking the coach. He's not bringing in his guys. He's not signing Mike Miller. He's not, doing all this kind of stuff, not bringing in Birdman. Like, he is going to be a part of this machine. And he hopefully will be able to just be a part of the team and not be worried about, well, I need the ball here, I need the ball there. Because right now, and I love LeBron, and he's had a hell of a career, but today, February 1, 2026, I got a big shot to win a game. I want Donovan taking it right now as opposed to LeBron.
So I think it's the perfect time to debut the LeBron Heat Meter right now in the main event. Right now. So, as of February 1st, Rob Rozycki, your confidence level of LeBron James joining the Cleveland Cavaliers, 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Go.
Well, thank you for clearing that up because I didn't know if this Heat meter was the Miami Heat or what the. We couldn't come up with a better goddamn name for this shit.
Well, no, LeBron.
We want to honor the entirety of LeBron James's career.
Yeah, and he the hot stove. LeBron Cavs meter just didn't have the same ring. Rob, back to you.
Okay, so what? 1 out of 10 is LeBron going to be, and what next season we're going to do this? Because my Heat meter for this season is 0. I don't think it's going to happen. But for next season, 50-50. I'll say a 5 right now. I'll say just kind of midway up the thermometer, maybe just a comfortable temperature. But yeah, I'm going to have to see some other stuff happen between now and the end of the season for this to facilitate.
Eli?
I'm going to say a 7, Double A. I'm going to say a 7. There's a lot of smoke here. Dave McMenamin from ESPN reporting that the Cavs would gladly take LeBron back. Dave McMenamin, when, I did do a little bit of, covering the Cavs and rub shoulders with McMenamin, and he was like the guy who got a lot of information. So if he's saying the Cavs would gladly welcome back, obviously Cleveland's already on board. LeBron's getting kind of a little testy with the Lakers. Jeannie Buss not as happy, thinks maybe he should be a little bit more appreciative for them drafting Bronny, the Lakers. This is a 7 out of 10, and you may ask me in a week or two, it might be an 8 or a 9. I mean, this has some serious steam to it. I mean, he's been in Cleveland twice. He's from Akron. He's played here. I mean, won a championship here. He's getting older. I mean, it's not like this is like year 14, and we're talking about him having another 10 years. I mean, this is the end. 7 out of 10, Double A. I think it's
guys.
Yeah,
say 8.5 because if the video is true, from what I saw, Adrian Wojnarowski, he was at the game. He was at the Lakers-Cavs game. And there was a fan, I don't know if it was from that game, but there was a fan that looked at Woj and was like, hey, where's LeBron playing next season? Right effing here. 8.5. LeBron James is coming back to Cleveland for one last dance with the Cavaliers.
Right, tune up the Skylar Gray, apparently. Great. But yeah,
Lord,
we'll
our
see.
luck, he'll sign an extension with the Lakers just for the hell of it.
Oh, yeah, that'll be exactly what. While wearing the decision shirt, that'll be great.
He already did that. Real quick before we pivot to break, did you guys remember the ad LeBron did where he was doing the other decision and it was just a tequila commercial, or whiskey? He switched to whiskey.
Yeah, something like it was some booze. I think Hennessy maybe.
It was Hennessy. Earlier in the season.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Well, this is the main event here on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. Without football season kind of influencing everything, this is what we're going to be trying to do, at least in the lead segment of the show, is kind of hit all the local teams, or at least the local stories. I know we didn't hit really a whole lot of Guardians today. 12 days until pitchers and catchers report. Stay tuned. We will be having a Guardians pregame or a preview show. We just got to figure out what day works for all the talent involved. And as soon as we've come to a conclusion on that, we will share that with all of you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're going to try to do the first segment of the show, basically just kind of covering what's happening locally here. And thank you for dealing with our Cleveland sports talk now for the last 60 minutes or so. We're going to move on to the NFL. We got some news and notes happening. A lot of crazy ass stories happening with the NCAA. We got did double A. Okay, so we had a we had a golf story. We had a racing story.
Yeah.
Now we're going to do a tennis story. So we got a lot of stuff to cover over the next hour and about an hour and a half or so.
This is where we need Side Hustle to stick around on the show, because we'll actually need Kyle's input.
Yeah,
as the tennis expert of the network.
Yeah, because unless it's on a table, I have a tough time. But no, in all seriousness, something big did happen in the tennis world in Double A. We'll get into it too. We might have kind of a Tiger Woods in tennis now, kind of for lack of a better term. But we'll get into that. We have a lot to cover. We'll figure out what we've learned this week. But yeah, so it should be a next nice hour and a half. We're going to try to take you all the way until 1 o'clock here on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. I am Rob Rozycki, Double A in the middle. Happy birthday, Double A. And then we also have Eli Moon flanking Double A on the other side here. We will be right back here on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. See you soon. Welcome back to the main event on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. We got Double A, the birthday boy, Anthony Alford in the middle. We got Eli Moon on the far right. I am Rob Rozycki. Thank you for sticking around through the break. We were talking a lot of Cleveland sports to start the show out, but now I guess we can spend a little time on the game of games.
Rob, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. That's very impolite of me, and I don't ever do that, and I'm sorry. And I apologize to everybody out there tuning in, but we are officially on the East Coast. It is 11:42 p.m. Eastern Time. It is February 1st. It is Double A's 34th birthday. And I know we have some things to say, but there's a lot of other people, Rob, that have some things to say to our friend Double A. So with that being said, let's have them talk. And with that,
Anthony Alford, Double A, man, happy birthday. I hope you are enjoying your day. It's a Sunday. It's always nice when your birthday falls on the weekend. You get kind of the whole weekend to celebrate it, right? So again, man, just hope you're having a great day. We appreciate you and everything you've done for us. So just, continue to enjoy, man. I hope you're having a good time on the show right now. And, man, just enjoy your 60th birthday. All right, Double A.
There you go.
Happy birthday, man.
Hey, Double A. It's me, Papa Moon. I heard it's your birthday. Well, happy birthday, my friend. You're so instrumental in this Inside Edge network. You're big on its success. You're a great program director. And I really appreciate the chance you've taken on me with Real Talk with Papa Moon. It means the world to me because I really, really love doing it. And thank you so much. But to a really good guy, I love you. Happy birthday.
Double A, brother. Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday. It's been a pleasure getting to know you the past couple of years and actually, the past couple months, like really getting to know you, man. It's been really fun working with you, and I'm so genuinely excited for the future of, Inside Edge Network, my podcast, and just, the whole team in general, man. Again, have a wonderful birthday, man. Hopefully you did, nonetheless, I'm excited for the future, brother. Enjoy the year, and here's to another year of getting older, brother. Happy birthday.
Wishing you a very happy birthday from Southwest Florida, Double A. Hope it was a good one. I know it's memorable to me.
Double A, happy birthday from Autumn. I'm not going to say how old you are because I low-key forgot, but happy birthday. We love you, and I just hope you have a great year.
Hey there, Alf. Wanted to wish you the happiest of birthdays. Turning 34 this year, man. Real quick, just wanted to appreciate you, let you know that I appreciate you for the opportunity that you've given me to be a part of LPV Productions and the pregame show, as well as the Legal Formation with Chad. I couldn't be more thankful to have this opportunity to do what I absolutely love to do. Hope you have a wonderful day, man. We'll see you soon. Happy birthday, brother.
Hey, Anthony. Just wanted to say happy birthday, and thank you so much for all the work that you do for Inside Edge Network and getting all this incredible talent together. Really appreciate you. Have a great day.
Happy birthday to my second favorite Double A, right after Arthur Anderson.
Hey, Double A, it's Brandon here. I just want to say happy birthday, and I hope your day is as great as you are. Much love, dude.
Double A, happy birthday, brother, from down here in ATL. Hope all is well. It's been really cool to see you develop from being one of my students at the Ohio Media School and then to being a professional and just moving your way up and just kind of growing as a man. So I hope everything is well. Have a blessed birthday and stay warm up there in Cleveland.
Happy birthday, Double A. Hope you guys have a good show. Hope you have a good birthday. Hopefully it's another great year for you and a little less back pain this next year. So happy birthday, dude. Hope it's a good one.
Oh, wait, Double A, there's more.
So, you're old as shit. Now what? You're probably starting to think a little bit about that number that's associated with your age, but don't think too much about that. Because with age also comes physical and cognitive decline. And of course, the ever-looming threat of mortality. So really, age is Just a number. Happy birthday, Alf Dog.
Double A Day. Happy birthday, man.
Holy shit.
My best memory of you is walking into work at Ohio Media School at like 8:39 in the morning and hearing you yelling about something in the radio studio. The passion, man, still lives on. Happy birthday, bro. Have a good one.
Yo, my man,
Yo!
Double A. Happy birthday, my guy. Thank you for being helpful to me and always just being a real friend. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for everything, man. Once again, happy birthday, bro.
Hey, Double A, just want to say happy birthday. I hope you have an incredible day. I hope the dinner was good. Hope you had a good dinner. We had some chicken and some home style cooking. That's what I hope you had. And it's been an honor. It's been 8 years we've known each other, and it feels like so much more, but yet a lot less, which is weird. But I think you'll understand what I'm saying. But I hope you have a great birthday. It's an honor to watch how you're growing professionally and everything that you're doing, and it's so cool hanging out with you on Sundays as we get some Jesus. So if I don't see you at any point in time this week, I know I'll see you Sunday, but I hope you had an incredible day with family, and have a good show. Depends on when this is played during the show. I don't know when. If it's the beginning, well, then I hope you have a great show.
Know.
If it's the end, wow, what an incredible show you guys just had. If it's the middle, first half was kind of rough. Maybe it'll get better the second half. You know, these are the things that you have to consider. But either way, happy birthday, buddy. I hope you had an incredible day.
Hey, Double A, it is your much younger co-host of the Side Hustle Wrestling podcast, Kyle here, wishing you a happy birthday. Man, you know, when people ask me who is one of the people that impacted my life the most, you know, I've been doing broadcasting now for over half of it, and there's just one person that comes to mind. Jim Nance. But then I talked about you a little bit later. You know, I really think about how important you've been on my journey, obviously on our journey with the whole podcasting network. So happy birthday. 76 never looked so good, my friend, and I will see you this coming week.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Double A. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Double A. Before we get any further, I do live up here in the great north, and it's a little chilly outside, so let me get another layer on if you don't mind. So, look, I was kind of told, tell a story, just wish him happy birthday, all that other fun jazz. Look, a lot of our stories, I don't know if it's network safe. But, hey, seriously, brother, happy birthday. You know, I am just lucky to be able to sit back and be like, hey, Double A is a friend. Double A has been a colleague. Double A is a hell of a guy. Man, just, you know, for the short time I've known you, which isn't a short time, which I don't like because it just means we're all getting older, just like your back. Man, it's been so cool just to watch you work and see your work ethic throughout everything. But seriously, enjoy your birthday. Enjoy life, man. Live every single day like it's your birthday. That's, you know, my only words of wisdom for you here, Double A. But seriously, happy birthday, man. I'm getting paid for this, right?
We're not.
Happy birthday, Double A. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday. And yeah, I mean, me and Rob, we were gonna put some elegant videos in, and thank to everybody that contributed to that. I guess, you know, I know we're gonna dive into NFL and all that jazz, Robin. We'll tee it up, but just for a moment, I just would like to thank you, Double A, here live on air, for gifting the opportunity to all of these Inside Edge Network talent across the board. You've blessed everybody in every avenue you've been in, sports, just life, and it's an honor to know you. It's an honor to call you my big bro. I call you for life advice. I call you for just shooting the shit, and I don't know what I'd do without you. Slow down on turning so old. because I need to hear the rest of my life. Because you're my brother for life, and I love you, man. And thank you so much for everything. So, happy birthday, Rob.
Yeah, you can fuck off. No, I'm kidding.
Thank you. Finally, somebody was honest.
No, seriously. No, happy birthday. We've been doing this shit on and off, through Ohio Media School, through WTAM 1100. We kind of grew as broadcasters, and, we were, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed all at the same time. We got our ass kicked through the pandemic at the same time, and we're now just, cranky bastards all at the same time. So, yeah, it is kind of amazing to watch how we have kind of grown throughout this whole thing, and about how you have turned into, yes, a person that we can call program director in a non-ironic fashion. I didn't think any one of us, when we were looking around that classroom back maybe 10 years ago, we're going to be doing that. But yeah, you proved me wrong on that one, and you keep proving me wrong on that every day. So yeah, thank you for that one. Thank you for keeping this Inside Edge network together too, because the other thing, and I've learned this throughout my time in radio, a good program director doesn't really show you how hard the job is. You're dealing with talent. You're dealing with, we're trying to get an advertising division going here. We're trying to, get a couple of shekels for this. You're dealing with that. You got the tech problems to handle. You got a schedule to deal with. There's a lot of crap that even your average, foot soldier in the radio business doesn't see what a program director does. And yeah, you like the good ones. Don't make it look all that hard. So thank you for everything, and happy birthday. And I'm glad you enjoyed the dinner. And again, fuck off.
Yeah. Thank you for everything, Double A. Seriously, just to re-echo Rob's comments. Like, a lot of people want to be in the position they are in without you, and I know you don't ever say that, you don't ever mention it, but the fact that you believe so hard in other people is something that's lost in this world. And for you to, anybody out there listening, if Double A's ever told you he's believed in you, he ain't bullshitting you. So get to work, because he expects great things out of you. And thank you for once upon a time, like Rob said, 10 years ago, believing in 18-year-old Eli Moon. And we've had our battles. We've been downtown, and we went through it. But I want to pick a better crew to do this show with, and yeah, I want to pick a better bro to celebrate on February 1st than my bro Double A here on air. So,
man, thank you all for that. I don't deserve any of that. Thank you.
No, not really.
No, sir. Thank you. I can spend a full week of programming talking about each and every single one of you. That was incredible. Thank you all. I'm a broadcaster and lost for words right now. That was something. And we're not paying Jack John, right?
No. So yeah, he's just gonna have to.
I thought he was dead, so I'm just happy to see it. That was kind of cool.
No, that was fantastic. I want to remind people to kudos to hear from everybody. Christy, by the way, is broadcasting from Florida. So she's more covered up than all of us. That was funny.
Yeah.
No, seriously, thank you all. I really appreciate it. None of us, like, this network doesn't go without you guys believing in all of this, too, and working your behinds off, and to making this special. And we have people watching and stuff. But boy, I was not prepared for that at all.
That was the whole point. I know you're not a big surprise guy, and I talked to Rob earlier. I said, I know Double A's not a big surprise guy, but we'd be really shitty friends if we didn't get him a surprise on air, right?
No.
So there's your surprise.
Eli told me, I'll just share this with our audience. Eli told me, Chad had thoughts about your commentary about the NBA from earlier in the week. Okay, fine. I'll go ahead and play it. No, seriously, thank you guys. My phone all day long has been blowing up. I didn't think I deserved any of the love, but I'm hearing from people I haven't heard from in a while, and it's just, oh boy.
You deserve it, brother. You deserve it, man. Soak up these last 20 minutes or 4 minutes now. Geez, time flies when we're having fun.
Yeah.
4 minutes of your birthday, but hey, you deserve it, brother. And like I said, thank you. So.
You guys do too. All of you guys work very hard to put this product out here together, and it's just it would be great if we just came on the air and started talking. But there's a lot of prep and stuff, a lot of work that goes into this, a lot of structure that goes into it. And what makes this show work, what makes this network work, everyone from different backgrounds and different levels and things like that, people with miles of broadcasting experience, people who don't have broadcasting experience, they have charisma, they know the business, different backgrounds and stuff. So, and everyone that you hear and see on this network, they work very hard. So that's why they're on here. That's why you see who you see. That's why we joked about it, but that's why, when we do have breaking news, we're going on the air strong. I think we were on the air 12 hours.
Yeah.
The other day, and it was nuts. Our best numbers, our best days of performance was our 2 breaking news days from January, the day that Kevin Stefanski was let go, and the day that Todd Monken was hired. So we keep building and keep building. We got another big day coming up on Sunday with the Super Bowl, which dear God, we don't have any more surprises for me, dude.
No.
But no, seriously, thank you guys. And yeah, Rob and Eli, we've been at this together 10 years. Scott Pennyman was one of our instructors. That was cool to see Scott in that. That was, man. We got to get Scott on the show at some point.
Yeah.
Because I see what he puts down with the Browns and stuff. So we got to get him on at some point. But
and I do want to mention one other thing before we pivot back to the our sports stuff, Rob. Ricky DJ Crew Dunn is unfortunately under the weather, but he said, AA, what he remembers most about, and he wishes you a happy birthday. He remembers is all the times at the Ohio Media School, just kicking it after class and just sitting there and just chopping up about life and laughing about whatever to get your mind off things. He loves you and he appreciates you so much, and just like we all do. And
the greatest thing, there was a time when thank you, Styles. I think Styles watching this live. He just DM'd me. That was funny what he had in there. You're getting old. No, the greatest thing, and I kind of took this for granted, when we all worked together, it was my assumption as like young adults that, your best friends, we all work together. Like it never, I know we had to do stuff for work, but it didn't feel like work.
Yeah.
So all those times, I remember vividly Ricky and I teaching and Ricky interrupting my class to discuss a fantasy football trade. Those were the days. I remember, Eli and I talking about captains all those hours. Mac and I talking about captains or whatever's going on at the fan. Rob and I, all those hours at WTAM on a Saturday, we do the Saturday shows, and we're in that newsroom for like 2 or 3 hours after the show, just shooting it, talking about other stuff. And it never, even though we were doing important stuff, it didn't feel like work. I know we take those things for granted, but the fact that all of us are on this network and we all have great personal relationships, that's what makes all of this worth it. It really does.
Absolutely.
It's midnight. I had enough talking about my birthday.
Yeah, it's officially February 2nd.
Happy birthday to my grandfather. Now that is February 2nd. My late great granddad. Happy birthday to him on this February 2nd. So I'm the first to point that out.
Absolutely. Rozycki, back to you.
Get back to the show.
Okay. Okay. All right. Yes, because we have a whole lot to cover, and we got another break in here, and we still want to be out by 1 o'clock. So, we're going to try to zip through this as quick as humanly possible. But yes,
wow.
But yes, happy birthday, AA for sure. One thing that has been around AA's birthday for most of his life until the NFL screwed up the schedule, the Super Bowl will be happening, not right now, of course, but will be happening in about 7 days. Santa Clara, California. It will be the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots, a rematch from the infamous Marshawn should have got the ball game. We got, I guess, a few minutes here to talk about the Super Bowl. Where are we thinking right now? I guess we want to throw a pick out there. But what do you guys kind of see as the biggest storyline going into this thing with these two teams being matched up?
Yeah, for me, it's coaching. The X's and O's, both teams are very, very talented, fellas. You talk about Drake May, we talk about Stephon Diggs, we talk about the two-headed running back room with Ramondre Stevenson and Travion Henderson. They are very talented. I mean, obviously, it's a well-rounded offense. Defense is real tough. And then you look at Seattle, tough defense. Sam Darnold having one of the best years, playoff-wise especially, running through some teams here, having a great run. Jackson Smith and Jigba is having an incredible season. And, I mean, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet should be hopefully healthy for the Super Bowl. So I think the X's and O's line up. Coaches, though, I talked about this when we first found out the matchups. I think it's really going to be important to keep an eye on Mike Vrabel versus Mike McDonald. The Mike versus Mike. Mike Vrabel has won a Super Bowl multiple times as a player. I get not as a coach, but he's been there and he has experience winning big games. And to play in it multiple times, to win it multiple times, that means something. And I'm not questioning Mike McDonald's ability, but just we saw it with Sean McVay and Bill Belichick in terms of experience coaching in big games. In that Rams-Patriots Super Bowl, Sean McVay had a few mental lapses in judgment, and it cost the Rams. So I think that could be the biggest story, to answer your question, Rob, is the coaching of Mike Vrabel versus Mike McDonald. I don't know how you guys feel, but that seems to stand out the most to me.
The biggest story is going to be the quarterbacks. That's going to be the story. Drake May in these playoffs has struggled. Now, to be fair, the defenses that Drake May has gone up against, plus weather conditions from the AFC Championship, does play a factor. Denver is fantastic in terms of defense, and maybe the Patriots are not in this game if Bo Nix was able to play. But you play your schedule, as Eli talked about on the show last week. Can't criticize that. I think the other major story, Kenneth Walker has had an amazing playoff run for Seattle. I am very curious to see how the Patriots defensively is going to match up against Kenneth Walker. So far in the NFC playoffs, no one has been able to stop Kenneth Walker. So I'm very curious to see how New England defensively is going to be able to handle that. But you're going to hear from right now all the way up until kickoff, where do the quarterbacks stand? Drake May, performance-wise, he's going to have to play his best game of these playoffs in the Super Bowl. And then for Sam Darnold, he is, like I mentioned last week, he's that boring quarterback from that 2018 QB class that nobody really talks about, that nobody really acknowledges, that can play in big moments. Can Sam Darnold make those big plays against New England to get that first Super Bowl locked in? I'm very curious to see how that's going to play out with these two teams.
The one thing I'm looking at is actually not even, and you kind of alluded to it a little bit with the quarterbacks, plural. I'm looking at one. I'm looking at Sam Darnold because he has the chance to kind of rethink the way the league looks at the quarterback position. He's on his fifth team already. This guy, you mentioned, the afterthought of that. Well, really, Josh Rosen's the afterthought of that class. But guys who actually played more than 2 years, it's Sam Darnold for sure. Him and Baker were kind of, on the island of misfit toys just a few years ago with Carolina. And lo and behold, you had those two guys sitting in your camp and you couldn't figure it out. So I'm looking at Sam Darnold. I'm hearing all the time, is Sam Darnold going to show up and be Sam Darnold again, or is he going to play like he's played the last couple of weeks? Sooner than later, he keeps stacking those kind of games on top of each other, and you do it in a Super Bowl. How Sam Darnold's known to play is what we've seen the last 3 weeks, not what we saw the first 5 years. He has the chance to completely change the narrative on his career. And if he pulls up with a 300-yard game and a couple of touchdowns and is in at least talk of the Super Bowl MVP, win or lose, I think people are going to look at Darnold a lot differently. And, he's not going to be that just, island of misfit toy quarter, the quarterback that they had to settle on. That is the diamond in the rough. No, he's going to be a bona fide quarterback. And I think what that's going to do for these other teams, you're already starting to see it now. We mentioned it with the Browns quarterback, Mac Jones, backup right now in San Francisco. He's going to be a flavor of the week. Malik Willis, these guys are now going to be seen as, all right, you had a couple of, just like an NFL head coach. You bombed out of your first spot. You had a couple of years to kind of back somebody up as the OC or DC. And then you get back to it, and all of a sudden, okay, we got a decent quarterback. That might now be a little bit more common to see. When I'm looking for the storyline with the Patriots, can you beat somebody good and healthy all at the same time? That really hasn't happened this year. Their first game was against the Raiders. They're the number 1 overall pick. Their second game was Miami. They fired their head coach. Their third game was Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin stepped away. You had Carolina, but that's the NFC South. And you keep on going through it. You got Buffalo fired their coach, New Orleans, Tennessee, Cleveland, Atlanta, Tampa Bay, the Jets twice, the Dolphins again. It seems like, and then you even get into the playoffs and you get helped out by a big old snowstorm that kind of neutralized everything out there for you, and you deal with CJ Stroud in Houston, and he was throwing an interception. It seemed like every other second. He was just coughing the ball up. Your first round matchup was against the Chargers. They don't have an offensive line to speak of because of injuries. You haven't really gone up against anybody. And conversely, Seattle, they've had to play the Rams 3 times. They played the Niners twice. We're talking some pretty good teams right now. So I would like to see if New England can actually beat somebody that is skilled at playing football and healthy all at the same time.
Yeah, I get that, Rob, and we will get Double A back here in a moment. I think he's dealing with some technical difficulties. But I get what your point is for the most part when it comes to, the Patriots, right? And when it comes to who have they played. I get the Bo Nix injury, but let's not forget that the Patriots were down 7-0 to a pretty stout team in Denver. I know is Stidham, I get it, but there was talks even earlier about the Broncos offense just not being productive in general. So I do think it would have been maybe a different story. Bo Nix plays, but we don't know. The Houston one's very interesting though. Everybody's giving Houston the problem for that game when in reality the Patriots, they caused CJ Stroud under duress. They caused the 4 interceptions. Like, we keep going, who did the Patriots play? But, Rob, Houston literally whooped on the Steelers in Pittsburgh the week before.
And how many turnovers did CJ Stroud have in that game, too? The only reason why he got a break in that one is because they won. I mean, I think there was a play he fumbled twice on.
That's fair. But all I'm saying is, I think this narrative of who the New England Patriots have played and who they haven't played is silly because of the way they've handled most of these games. They've also beat Buffalo, where everybody was crowning, earlier in the year, where they were crowning Buffalo as this was their year. Well, Buffalo's sitting at home watching New England get back to another Super Bowl. So I understand, but at the end of the day, this is something we talked about. They had a 4th place schedule. So they played who they played, and then they won 2 games to get here. So
I'm not saying you're an invalid contestant here. I'm just saying, now you have the chance to validate all that.
Yeah, I get it, but I do think they already are validated. They're the AFC champion. They had to go through the entire AFC.
They had to go through the Jets twice, the Dolphins twice, the Ravens that fired their coach, the Steelers that got rid of their coach.
But the good teams take care of business. Rob, right? Not to interrupt you, but the good teams take care of business.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not stipulating that. Like they should be there. They got the number 1 seed. They did what they needed, or they got the number 2 seed rather. The reason why they didn't get the number 1 seed was because they lost to the team with the number 1 overall pick. But whatever. But
I get it.
Yeah, I want to see more. I'm not going to start crowning the new Patriot dynasty. I'm not going to say Drake May is the second coming of Tom Brady and Mike Vrabel is a social version of Bill Belichick here. Like, I'm not quite there yet. You gotta do it on this stage against a team that is a whole lot better than pretty much any other team you played all season.
I get it. But honestly, the feel I keep getting for the Super Bowl is like the earlier New England Patriots when they had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, when they were counted out against the Rams, the greatest show on turf. I mean, I think they were double-digit dogs, I believe, in that game. And they, won that game. So I just think, and I'm not saying you necessarily, Rob, but I think anybody that's counting out the New England Patriots or feel like they're not up to par with the Seattle Seahawks, I think really what's going to get them a victory in this is what I keep stressing is the Patriot way. And I know we hate hearing that term, but it's going to be the Patriot way. Is Mike Vrabel is going to keep his team locked in and say, you know what, here's the noise about us. And hey, Double, welcome back. The noise about us. You know, they think we haven't beat anybody. They think our quarterback is subpar in the playoffs, which he has been. So how do we develop into winning the Super Bowl and block out the noise? And that's what New England's been really good about for the last however many decades. I mean, they've been good at blocking out the noise. And I think Mike Vrabel is going to be the biggest X factor in this game. I keep going back to it, but I really think he has the most experience. I mean, fact check me, but I think out of both 53-man rosters, Mike Vrabel has the most Super Bowl appearances out of anybody playing in this game, coaching in this game, whatever. I think that's going to be important, Rob. And I think that's what it's going to come down to. He's going to be able to remind them, hey, we were dogs. At the beginning of our first dynasty, we were the underdogs. Nobody believed in us. And now here we are. And now we're in the same position. How can we do this? So that's what that's how I feel. And I think Seattle, we've seen costly pass interference, unnecessary, unsportsmanlike conduct. There it is. With Woolley at the end of the game almost against the Rams, a real bad play that Puka Nacua goes and gets a touchdown the next game. I just think it's going to be costly mistakes that really determine this game. And I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think it's going to be.
Sorry for my abrupt break there. Spectrum said we got other plans, so I was down for like a solid 5 minutes. But
and no biggie. It's not like you paid for it or anything.
I know it's not like I dedicate $95 a month for it. Anywho, no, right now Seattle 4.5-point favorites, according to Vegas right now. So that's just goes to show you how they're thinking. I don't know if Seattle's that one team. Were they blessed by having the 1 seed and just running through their opponents, or are they really that good? And I think looking
I was
at
saying the exact same thing about the Patriots. At least the Seattle Seahawks have beat the Rams a couple of times this year. They got the Niners. They got a hellacious division. You got the Patriots that have played the Jets twice. They fired everybody but their head coach. The Dolphins fired their head coach. The Bills fired their head coach. The Ravens fired their head coach. And then when they finally get a Denver team in the playoffs that's reasonably good, all of a sudden, Bo Nix goes down with the ankle, usher in a snowstorm, and all of a sudden the only big play of the game was a freak punt block you had, and you're here to go. So, tell me what the New England Patriots have done. They beat a lot of crap teams.
The one thing we'll say about New England, though, we were talking about New England as one of the favorites, especially during the second half of the season. It was really could they get past Buffalo, and that was it. We knew Drake May. We assumed he's legit. New England's legit. They have a great backfield, great defense, that kind of thing. I'll just speak for myself. I know I was talking about the Rams as the top team in the NFC all the way until week.
And they got beat by the Seahawks twice in the last 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah, they got beat. And then we were talking about the Niners. Hey, can San Francisco make that run? Honestly, I don't think.
And they got beat by the Seahawks.
Exactly. I don't think we put respect on Seattle's name until probably the conference championship game, as a unit, as a show. I don't think we did that. And I don't think a lot of fans, do they believe that Seattle could win, could go to the Super Bowl? Sure. But we didn't say with confidence. We didn't say, Seahawks can be in this game with confidence when these playoffs started. Not unlike New England.
Well, because a lot of it had to do with the narrative around Darnold. I think, that's why I said Darnold has the chance to kind of, if he wins this game, all of a sudden he's a trusted quarterback in the playoffs. Drake May, Mike Vrabel, they got that story to write as we speak. So they got a lot less baggage, I think, as a team going in there as maybe Sam Darnold does as a quarterback.
And that's the only other interesting thing too is we keep bringing up the Patriots schedule, but Sam Darnold, regular season wise, wasn't very you look at his stats, it wasn't very impressive. Bless you, Double A. Wasn't very impressive. I mean, 25 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. I get the yards were there. He had 4,048 yards. I get that, but not a very impressive touchdown to interception ratio. He's really stepped up in the postseason, but I guess it's a measure of what do you trust more? Do you trust the 2 games, stretch and the few games before that, Sam Darnold started heating up for the Seahawks more? Or do you trust the whole body of work in the regular season the New England Patriots put together, where Drake May is being discussed as an MVP candidate? He's had a rough time keeping on to the football this postseason. I get that. But what do you trust more? And if you're asking me, I'm not making my pick just yet, but I'm leaning towards New England and the body of work they put together. Put the opponents aside. 2 teams have to line up on Sunday. One's got to win. And New England takes care of the games that other teams fail to win. I get they lost to the Raiders. I know you were waiting to use that one again, Rozycki. But they have taken care of business, and they have beat the teams in front of them. And now they have Seattle. And I guess it's just a matter of body of work versus a stretch. And I think right now I'm trusting the body of work all season from New England.
Well, but how many times have we talked in any playoffs, in any pro sports? Does the best team all season long win a championship, or the hottest team at the end win the title?
That's true.
Like, we do that with baseball all the time. I mean, I think the same is true for in football in certain cases. I'll give you an example that Rob could appreciate more than anybody else. When the Steelers won the Super Bowl 20 years ago with Jerome Bettis, Super Bowl 40, was the Steelers the best team from start to finish, overall body of work that season?
I'm sorry. I stopped listening when you said 20 years ago. No, they came in as a 6th seed. They actually had to play all road games. They got hot at the right time. In fact, I think that was the year that they got their asses beat by a 15-1 Colts team in, I think it was I think that might have been still 3. No, that was Heinz, but in Pittsburgh. And that was the same Indianapolis team. They went on the road in a few weeks in a divisional game and beat the crap out of themselves. That was the infamous call of Vanderjack, the idiot kicker, missing the kick, and booked the travel agent. We're going to Denver. So yeah, I mean that was a pretty mundane year that they had to get red hot at the right time for. And you can say the same thing about the Giants a couple of times too with Eli.
Yeah.
Now I will point this out just for, and we didn't have time to put the video in. Seahawks and Patriots, just as a matchup. The last 10 meetings, going all the way back to 1993, the last 10 meetings between the Seahawks and the Patriots has come down to the final possession. All 10 regular season Super Bowl matchups have come down to the final possession. So I don't know if you want to believe that 4.5-point spread, but based on history, it's a pick'em. I guess I should ask, because this will be our last time, Rob and I's last time talking about the Super Bowl until the game happens. Eli will be on all week long with Inside Edge Prime Time. Rob, do we want to do predictions right now?
Well, I think let's see here. I'm probably gonna have to go with let's take a look at the over-unders and such here too. You said, okay, it opened at 3.5 as a Seattle favorite. It has increased a little bit to 4.5. The over-under is about 45 points. I'm going to say Seattle by 10. I'm going to say Seattle reasonably comfortable here. I think they're going to, and I don't know if that's going to be as much on Sam Darnold as that on that Seattle defense. I understand that Sam Darnold's had his seeing ghost moments in his career, but let's not forget Drake May is still a second-year quarterback. He would be the youngest ever to win a Super Bowl, actually beating Ben Roethlisberger in that year. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go with Seattle. I'm going to go with that defense. Nothing against Rabel and the New England defense, but I think they're going to be able to manhandle that quarterback a little bit more than a very good New England defense.
I have Seattle winning the game. New England will cover, by the way. It will come down to the final possession, and Seattle will do what they failed to do the last time they faced the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and that's running the ball.
Get Kenneth Walker the ball.
Kenneth Walker walk-off touchdown to win the Super Bowl.
Or do they sign Marshawn to a one-day contract and bring him in that situation just to correct
You know
the
what?
wrong?
You know what? They should.
I mean, if Jerome Bettis can do like 3 touchdowns on and 2 yards on 5 carries, I think we can have Marshawn fall forward in beast mode.
Do you understand that would be one of the greatest sports stories in our lifetime if that happened?
Oh yeah,
That would be
that's
nuts.
Phillip Rivers all over again. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, but I guess okay. So me and Double A will be going with Seattle, I guess, to go with the Super Bowl. We will wait for Moon's pick. And I guess in a consolidated NFL section, there's one more story I do want to get to. We get to postseason awards when the season's actually done. Speaking of the Patriots too, their former coach. I don't know if anybody heard this. There wasn't a lot of chatter about this at all on sports talk or on the internet or anything. Nobody really had an opinion. Bill Belichick will not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And you would have thought that the NFL's, Hall of Fame ended up on the Epstein list with the way that everybody was so outraged and appalled and shocked. Do we have any strong feelings on Bill? Because you know what? I'll go first on this one. I will absolutely go first.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out, and you saw with the way that I started the sarcasm out here, we are talking about an NFL coach who is not going to be in the Hall of Fame his first year of eligibility. He is very, very wealthy. He has a girlfriend who is younger than Eli Moon, despite the fact that he is in his mid-70s. He is coaching in North Carolina. He is, without a doubt, the greatest NFL coach in history. He is living a pretty good life. And the NFL, and not, we have a lot of other things happening in the world of sports even too. I don't even want to throw in like the serious headlines about, all the stuff going across this fine country of ours. But we are so like old crusty sports writers can't get enough about pontificating about the sanctity of the Hall of Fame and was this screwed up and was that and how bad is this? Meanwhile, the sanctity of the Hall of Fame with O.J. Simpson's bust still sitting in there, no problem. So whatever. But ultimately, we are talking about this guy not waiting a year. He's not Pete Rose. He's not Joe Jackson. He's not even the steroid guys in baseball that might have to wait a generation. He'll be in next year. And don't feel bad for Belichick because in this whole diatribe, Bill Belichick is winning. It might be the only time he's won this season. Everyone's talking about how dumb the Hall of Fame is, about how flawed the process is, about how jacked that whole system is, while simultaneously talking about 6 Super Bowls and 11 conference championships and 2 more Super Bowls as an assistant and, second most wins in history, most playoff wins. They're all talking Belichick up. Bill Belichick hasn't seen this much love from dipshit talking heads like us in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's winning. Why would he complain? Why is he having a bad day? Because he has to go sleep next to his 25-year-old girlfriend at the end of it? He's fine. Calm down, everybody. And by the sanctity of the Hall of Fame, my ass. This is old, cranky, white dudes just being gossipy, catty little bitches. Bob Kraft wants to go in the Hall of Fame. He wants to go in before Bill Belichick. Jerry Jones doesn't want Bob Kraft to go in the Hall of Fame. So Bob Kraft has had a tough time getting into the Hall of Fame. Now that his coach is out, Bob Kraft doesn't want to go in after his coach because he's the one who did it all. So he's going to do everything he can to screw over the coach because the Cowboys are screwing him over. This is the Real Housewives of Canton, Ohio. That's all this is. It's all it ever is. Look at other sports. Barry Bonds, one of the reasons why he's not in the Hall of Fame, steroids #1, because he was a dick to the voters #2. Dave Winfield had issues. Eddie Murray had issues. Everybody who has a problem with the meat, it is all catty, dipshit sports writers who can't beat them on the field, who can't go up and dunk on a basketball player or take a pitcher deep. So the only thing that they can do is grab that little pen of theirs and do what they can to figure it out. And I am a member of that side. That's what we do. We can't beat you physically, so we're going to beat you with words. And that's what this is. So I think everybody needs to calm down, take a deep breath, and just wait till next year for Bill Belichick. He's going in.
I think you're wrong, Rozycki, and here's why. Because any Hall of Fame that doesn't exist with Bill Belichick not going in the first year he's eligible is not a Hall of Fame. That's correct. And to add to your point about voters, they take their feelings, and we hear reports of Bill Polian and other voters taking their feelings. I don't give a shit about your feelings. We're not voting to take a word from my Inside Edge primetime co-host Chad Bryan. It's not the Hall of Fame, Hall of Most Liked. It's the Hall of Fame. Who is the best in this game? You bring up Barry Bonds, and we've had conversations on this show. Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame because he's the greatest hitter we've ever seen. In the steroid era was a pivotal time for baseball. And we recognize that, hey, we can't do this moving forward. But we also recognize that Bud Selig's in the Hall of Fame. So if you're going to put one in, you got to put them all in. Back to Belichick for a moment. We talk about the history of the NFL Hall of Fame. We talk about when these guys get in because it is an honor. It is an acknowledgement that you were, as soon as you're eligible, you're in. Because guess what? There are guys that thought they would be in after the first 2-3 years that are sitting 8 to 10, 15 years after. I'm not saying Belichick will. But if it already is 1 year of discussion of, Spygate, Deflategate, which, mind you, he won after those. So when you look at this, are you going to look at Tom Brady when he's eligible for retire or for the Hall of Fame and say, well, Brady was a quarterback during these times?
That's an interesting question.
And that's the problem I have. And just for a moment before we get into that, that's my problem I have. Is we're talking about Robert Kraft, we're talking about Tom Brady, but when it's Bill Belichick, he seems to be taking the brunt of all of this. They were in it together. And this is the thing I'll leave you with. I know you can both have some other thoughts. 3 coaches that have made the Hall of Fame in their first year of eligibility. Bill Belichick will not join them. The 3 names, Chuck Noll, Tom Landry, Don Shula. They have 8 Super Bowls combined. You take Belichick as a head coach and an assistant, he ties them in Super Bowls. So this is just a laughable conversation, feelings and emotions. Guess what? Those are for different rooms, not the Hall of Fame room. And I'm big on mental health, but in this conversation, when you're talking about voting in the NFL, you vote based off what you saw. And what you saw was a dynasty. You cannot talk about football, the history of football, without Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, Tom Brady and all these guys. And if Robert Kraft gets in, I'm just confused as why are we showing Bill Belichick love? And I get it, the Kraft-Belichick battle. I get it. But it's just stupid, it's silly that we are having a conversation that Bill Belichick's not a Hall of Famer because it should have just been clear cut. He's in. Like, that's it.
Well, you're starting to come up on like the backlog of some of the older players. The writer from Kansas City who confirmed that he was one of the ones that didn't vote for Belichick talked about getting some of those older players in instead based on the Hall of Fame process. The one thing that really stood out to me, kudos to Jimmy Johnson for normalizing Spygate. Like
him calling the voters assholes on national TV.
It's pure entertainment. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was unfiltered Jimmy Johnson.
And the comments and opinions expressed by Jimmy Johnson aren't necessarily that of the main event in the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. But yeah.
Go on McAfee's. But I do find it interesting that Jimmy Johnson went on the air. It's like, oh yeah, we spied on coaches too, or spied on other teams, and everybody does it. So Belichick should get in for that reason. If that's the argument, you're actually hurting Belichick a little bit more. A lot of people have problems with Spygate and stuff, so I don't think it's a good look to normalize. I think the other big thing, though, and Rob and I talked about this the other day, the Hall, you get in next year, cool, right? But any Hall of Fame, any Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame, or Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's a difference between getting in for the first time, being the first ballot Hall of Famer, and any other time.
And that was the punishment that these voters decided to give to Belichick. That's
Yeah.
And Moon, you actually kind of proved my point a little bit because you trashed the Hall of Fame to start out your situation. Bill Belichick's looking fine. Bill Belichick's great. And yeah, this is the Hall of Fame in a double A. What you're talking about, where you got these legends candidates and you can only vote for like 3 out of 5 or whatever it is, then that's a process problem. Then that is a procedure problem, and they need to correct that. Now, we'll also, in full, disclosure here, the NFL Hall of Fame came out with a very strong statement, kind of condemning their voters and threatening banishment if they're not voting on the ideals of the Hall of Fame. So, I think the NFL Hall of Fame is taking a look at this too, long and hard.
Yeah, they will change the process, and I think that's what we will learn from this. Because the other thing that writer from Kansas City explained, you shouldn't have, like, if Belichick and Robert Kraft are in the same category.
They're technically competing against each other for votes right now.
Right. And that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case at all.
Because the current way it works is like, there's a 5-person pool that you have to vote 3 legends from. It's like 3 players, a contributor, and a coach. So, even if you're the coach representative, you're not obviously you're not guaranteed to go in. So you're fighting over candidates, and they got to look at this process because, and keep in mind, and this is what I wanted to hit here too, with the whole, process and just it being screwed up. You already have a huge backlog. You're going to have people that are already waiting a long time. Like obviously Belichick's, he's snubbed this 1 year. Marty Schottenheimer, Tom Coughlin, Mike Shanahan, Mike Holmgren, George Seifert are not in the Hall of Fame, despite the fact that, Schottenheimer doesn't have wins, or Super Bowl wins. He has the 8th most wins all time, but everybody else has multiple wins under their belt. So, Belichick is going to be in that pool with those guys. And it could be a situation of like, hey, we're hearing, so-and-so's not doing too good. Let's make sure we can get him into the Hall of Fame while he's still, taking breath in and hasn't shuffled loose of the mortal coil yet. So, there could be a lot of stupid stuff and a lot of stupid procedures happening. And again, just because you're the one coach, that gives you a 3 out of 5 chance of making the Hall of Fame. It doesn't eschew you of anything. So, they're going to have to look at the process. And I think that's what I think that's what this is going to do more than anything. But, I understand the resumes there, but there are the scandals there. There are the warts there. There are, some things that maybe other coaches were doing, but he got caught. And maybe one of the reasons why he got caught, and don't discount this either. The dude pissed off everybody in the NFL, all 31 other teams for 2 decades. And, and I used it in the case of the press here. Bill Polian could not beat him on the field as the GM of the Colts. He can beat him in that Hall of Fame room, though. And he is going to do that. And I'm not saying any of this is right, but this is the reality of the situation. And this hasn't changed. It was like this 100 years ago. Like, you had cranky sports writers who didn't want to vote people. Like, I heard there was an instance, Willie Mays was one ballot, one deal away, one vote away from being a unanimous Hall of Famer. The one guy who didn't vote for him asked Willie for an interview like his 2nd or 3rd year in the league, and Willie turned him down pretty sternly. And that was the reason why he didn't vote for Willie Mays, 660 home runs, whatever else, into the Hall of Fame. So this is not a new situation.
I get it. And I know we got to go to break. My final thought on this is that's why you have Walter Payton Man of the Year and these other awards. The Hall of Fame is for the best of the best. And if all I'll say is, if the NFL had such a problem with these scandals of Bill Belichick and the Patriots, then maybe they should have implemented tougher punishments. And maybe if it was such a bad look that they can't put him in the Hall of Fame and give him, this year, and we'll see how it goes in the years in the future, then why was he just told he can't coach? For you've done such egregious things to the game of football that you can't coach. But
Sean
it's not.
Payton got suspended for a year.
But Belichick didn't. So clearly, it wasn't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of the NFL. They took care of it and moved on. So I think bitter voters and bitter people that couldn't beat Bill Belichick shouldn't get a say in this. And that's my thought.
The last thing, something to watch for come August. Jordan Hudson, Belichick's girlfriend, she is planning a bash, a party, the day of the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. She has invited Tom Brady, LeBron, Deion Sanders, Patrick Mahomes, I'm sure others, to this party.
Did Inside Edge Network get invited real quick? Did we get invited?
We go work on that because I want to get in.
Okay.
Something to watch. How many Hall of Famers are going to boycott the introduction ceremony and go to the Belichick party?
I can see the Patriots guys doing it, but that kind of has the vibes of the Turning Point USA halftime show, where it's going to be like an alternative that nobody really cares about.
Who's performing? Never mind. Don't answer that.
No,
Bad Bunny's performing at the Super Bowl. That's all you need to know.
Eli might be at the Turning Point halftime show. I don't know. I mean, he could be for all we know.
Yeah, look, Double A, we don't need to talk about the Turning Point or anything. The only thing you need to worry about music-wise on Super Bowl day is Bad Bunny's going to go crazy. He's going to do his thing. And he was having a lot of fun at the Grammys tonight. Yeah. I do want to give a quick shout-out, Rob, before I kick it back to you to get us back on track. Duran Bernard from Cleveland won his first Grammy tonight. So that's, as an independent artist myself, just very, very cool stuff. Just wanted to mention that while I segue to the Grammys. Back to you.
Thank you. Yeah, we're going to be very excited, speaking of the Super Bowl, to see what that halftime show is like. I am reasonably sure he will utter, Bad Bunny will utter 2 words of English. One will begin with an F, and the other one will probably begin with an I. I'm just going to throw that out there. But yeah, I think there are going to be at least 2 words of English happening in the Super Bowl halftime show. You know, why can't we get an American act in there like the Beatles or Coldplay or Rihanna or The Weeknd? You know, keep in mind, none of them are actually from here. But yeah, here it is. I can go on the Super Bowl stuff, and believe me, we'll probably get into some political stuff with what we've learned coming up a little bit later on. I don't know if you heard about this, but there was some information released by the government on Friday. I'm going to get into that a little bit, and I'm sure Eli and Double A will have their big points that they want to conclude the show with. We'll also have some news and notes. But we are in the home stretch. We've got one more segment left. This is the main event on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. The Amish-looking dude in the middle, he is Eli Moon. The Fresh Prince-looking dude on the other side is Double A Anthony Alford. And I guess I'll go with Vincent D'Onofrio as a celebrity impersonator here. I am Rob Rozycki. This is the main event here on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. We will be back. Welcome back to the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. This is the main event. We got Eli Moon in the middle, Double A, the birthday boy. Well, I guess 46 minutes ago he was the birthday boy. He is on the far right. I am on the far left. I am Rob Rozycki. And this is the final segment of the show. Hopefully, we will only be about 15 minutes wrong on our 1 o'clock out time. But yeah, we'll try to keep you all the way until about 1:15. Thank you to the the listeners who have stuck around through this entire endeavor. We'll be going through some news and notes, and then we'll figure out what we've learned today and get you going on your way. And I know everyone's really happy to start Monday morning up. So, gentlemen, would you want to get going with news and notes here?
Let's go.
I'd love to, Rob. Let's get it.
All right, Double A, I think, or Moon, you are in charge of this one right now. We have video to go with this one, and honestly, I have no setup for this. It's boxing, and two fighters fought, and something happened.
Off his head, Sergio! Wow! That is going to make the rounds on social media. That's like a cartoon.
What is this video?
Oh my goodness gracious! It is a toupee, and he just took it off.
Now, I don't know who called that fight, but he hit it dead on where this thing was just going to go like wildfire all over social media. Yes, we see a boxer here, heavyweight boxer. We barely even know his name, Jarrell Miller at this point. He won the fight, but he came in with a full head of hair and left looking like this.
Looking like LeBron.
We got on that
like
one.
his hair at the end of his career.
Dude, I'll start with this. I'd be pissed at my barber. I'd be mad. You're spending a lot of money to get your hair ready to go for a fight night, clearly. And this happens? I'd be so mad. Let me tell you guys a story. Just to share. Because I once had to shave my head in a bet. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest. Now I am a Buckeyes fan, because my little brother goes there. Back in the day, I wasn't a big Buckeyes fan, and I bet against the Cardale Jones team to win the national championship before they even played the Big Ten title game, and I bet my hair. And I didn't even have as much hair as I did now, but I shaved it 2 months before my prom. And my mom wasn't happy. Pops wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. And it was bad. It was bad for everybody involved. And, I can imagine going to, I remember going to prom. I have prom pictures of me with not a lot of hair on my head. And those are some of the most important moments of my life, growing up. So could you imagine Jarrell Miller feeling in a primetime boxing fight and
Moon.
This happens?
Moon, that your situation, although close, is not what happened. Imagine if you were dancing on the floor and whatever hair system you had to cover up the fact that you were fell off like this baseball cap. That's what happened to dude. And I give him props for winning the fight. I give his opponent a little bit of criticism for literally knocking dude's hair off and still losing the fight. I don't know what you'd have to do for that one. From what I understand, it wasn't exactly an eventful fight for 10 rounds, but it is what it is. Yeah, we do have
Oh, come on, Double A.
Fresh cut for the champ. He is, I'm assuming this is after the fight. He is back and better than ever.
Yes.
No, is this before the fight or after the fight? I think this is before, Rob. It says, let's get a KO tonight. Somebody got KO'd his hair.
Yeah, let's go get a KO. Okay, yeah, judging by the So my whole thing is like, I understand, Moon, you're pissed off at his barber. But if I'm going to be entering an event where I don't have any headgear on and I don't care what it is, and I have a chance to take several shots to the dome, then I don't think I'm going to trust any glue to keep that stuff on top of my head.
Double A, what do you think about this? Because I think Jarrell Miller has a case next time he goes back to the barber shop.
He ain't going back to that barber. Yeah, that's easy.
That was it, the luxury suite? They should shut down. They shouldn't be in business anymore. After this, there are no winners in this. There are no winners.
The fans. The fans.
Yeah,
His
fans.
head flipped.
Us.
His
We're
hair
talking
flipped
about
up like a
this.
Pez dispenser. We win.
Well, there are no winners because he won. The dude won the fight. Like, how do you lose that fight against this guy? Number one, like my brother called me this morning. We had a good conversation. He brought this up. I asked him, like, who won the fight? It was like, we don't know. It was like the dude who lost his hair won the fight. So there are no winners in this case. And yeah, dude, your entire reputation, like,
He's
Eli
now that guy.
Right
He's
here.
now that dude.
Yeah. Eli is 100% right though. Like, there is so much trust you have to have in your barber to hook you up every 2, 3, 4 weeks. You go to the barbershop. Like, I've gone to the same barber now in town for like 4 years, and that's because I trust him. Over at Lyric's Barber Salon, by the way, here in Bedford. I trust him. That place should burn down. You can't. This is unacceptable. What's even worse, the hairline is bad. It's not just big. The hairline is horrible.
You can even see it in his face, Double A. You can kind of see in like the second shot, he's kind of looking at you like, "You sure you got me together? Like, you sure?"
You can't. The hair. You can't roll out of there with that lineup. You just can't. This is all bad.
We're all missing the point here. Like, this isn't prom. This isn't a WWE Divas match circa 2004. No, like, this is a boxing match. You don't need to be made so. Now, I do maybe understand if he's in a prom.
I'm sorry. I disagree with that. I know you get beat up in boxing.
Yeah.
You should still. Your goal as a man sometimes is to still look pretty.
Okay, well,
especially after
we
a W.
established that goal was not achieved for Jarrell Miller. I think we could kind of just say that goal, he failed there. He won the fight, great, but he failed.
Rob's not even entertaining that conversation, which I don't blame him one bit.
Rob, this is like the most, and we're talking about like boxing where they walk out in like big like outfits and like big entrance music and everything. And this was in the Garden. This is like an adult's prom. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I'm still just not, dude, bro. Like,
Dog, I'm looking at I went to their Instagram. I'm looking at the comments. First one, and this is like an unrelated post. He's like, first comment: will the haircut last in a fight?
Oh no!
How well will it hold up against an uppercut?
Oh my!
No, not well.
Y'all should do a punch test on one of these. See how well the glue holds up.
That's a Mythbusters episode right there.
Will it stay from strong physical contact, preferably boxing?
No.
And then
the answer.
And then this guy who loves when black guys date white women is in the chat.
But I will give him credit. He did talk about it after the fight. He did make fun of himself. He actually did grab it and just threw it out in the deal. He understood what it was.
Yeah,
now the one thing I will give him, if he's walking around all the rest of his life with a full head of hair, and then shows up to the fight looking like LeBron James 2 years ago, then people are going to be asking questions. So I do understand that you do have a look to maintain, but bro, you're a pro fighter. Like, you're getting cracked in the head. There's, shave it. It worked for George Foreman. It was fine. Nobody bitched. Everybody seemed to be happy with it. But yeah, I don't get it.
I don't think he has that.
You fight out of this because everyone talked about him before this fight. Like, he's gonna get a big payday. Next fight from somebody.
He might be
right. Like he leaned right into it. I mean, there's no way he could hide what happened. So I give him credit for that.
All I'm saying is, Jake Paul, if he does another boxing card, I could see this guy being on the main card.
Hair versus hair. Hair versus hair.
I mean, and if you're Jarrell Miller, I know we got a few more stories to cover. If you're Jarrell Miller, you can't go back now. You got to embrace it. Like Rob said, you got to embrace it now.
No, I would go. I disagree. You go back out there with the wig. You go back out with the wig.
Either that, or if there's any hair restoration company that wants to give you money and be a spokesperson, you could turn it into a deal. You really,
yeah, because this is a bit now. This is part of him. Like he has to go back and hair club for men. Sign up. Let's go.
Oh yeah, because maybe next fight he's coming back. He's like, hey, I got my ass kicked, but see, it's real.
I got the hair back. I'm putting it back.
Oh my goodness!
I'm also the founder. I'm also a client. All right. Well, I'm sure we can make fun of him for a few more minutes, but we have other stuff.
I'm not making fun of him in front of his face. He'll knock me out. I'm cool.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I completely get that. One story I didn't tell you about when we were doing our prep here, but I think it's worth a couple of minutes here. Don't worry, it's nothing all hot button or anything. But are you guys familiar with the case of Amari Bailey? Okay, he went to UCLA back in the day. He was drafted, I believe, in 24. I want to say a couple of years or 20. He played one season, 22, 23 at UCLA. He went pro, got drafted, played 10 games, including putting 15-5 and 5 up against the Cavaliers in an end of the season game. And now he is putting in an injunction, because that's what we do now, saying he deserves one more year of eligibility in college, because if he didn't go pro, he'd be a senior now. In fact, he actually said to ESPN, right now, quote, I'd be a senior in college. I'm not trying to be 27 years old and play college athletics. No shade on the guys that do. That's their journey. But I went to go play professionally. I learned a lot, went through a lot. So, why not me? Gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on this are, I got two of them. So one is, this is starting to get out of line, to be honest with you, when it comes to
He would be the first NBA player to go back and play in college ever.
This is just getting out of line. I mean, we got to talk about Charles Bediako. Probably butchered his last name, but out of Alabama, he came back from the G League, and they were literally chanting to him at Florida. I believe it was a Florida game. The Gators crowd chanting, G League dropout or something along the lines of that. I mean, I'm all for the players getting their money, NIL money. I'm all for them using their eligibility. I'm even for where the NBA has it in place, where if you don't get drafted, you make a mistake, you can go back to college. So that's already in place, Mr. Bailey. What I'm not a fan of is the NCAA not holding college athletes accountable anymore. We are getting to a point in time where, why is this allowed? Why are we just allowing to go backwards? We talked about this so many times on the show, but at some point, okay, let's talk about us here and everybody, right? You go to school, you figure it out. We all went to broadcasting school. After that, you make your decisions. Now, typically, you can't go back to school. There may be some other programs that schools offer, maybe to enhance, but usually once you get your degree, your scholarship, your degree, your diploma, whatever, you can't go back. And we're getting into a weird time where these college athletes are seeing there's money now in the NCAA, and it's, well, why can't I? And I feel okay saying this as a 28-year-old who is in this type of, I guess I'm older than, I hate just saying that, but I'm older than these guys, and I know, Double, happy late birthday again. But it's getting ridiculous. When are we going to hold these guys accountable? Get your money, but you made that decision, and we're playing in the NBA. That's so silly. That's like being like a doctor, and it's not the same thing, but this is like the easiest thing I can compare it to. It's like being a doctor. You go through all your schooling, you get all your stuff. You're like a year into doctoring, you're like, dude, this isn't working. I need to go back and be a carpenter. Well, you can't, bro. I mean, I guess you can, but you're just spend a ton of money on being a doctor. You're gonna do what you took a risk on yourself. You're gonna see how it pans out. Amari Bailey took a risk on himself. Doesn't like how it panned out so far. So he's going back to college. At what point are we gonna say, bro, I'm sorry, we gave you as many opportunities to come back in case you failed, but once you make that leap and you start playing professionally, you are a professional.
Does he have a degree? Did he graduate college?
We went to school for 1 year.
But
so unless he's Doogie Howser, no.
he doesn't have a degree.
No.
He can go back to school. I mean, I do agree with Eli, but if you kind of want to look
go
at
back to school,
cut and dry situation,
no one's saying he can't go back to school.
No. Just follow along with me. In his eyes, he's only going back to get his degree, right? He's only going back.
He would need conceivably 2 to 3 more years of college to get his degree.
Right.
He wants 1 year. He wants, at least in this injunction, he wants 1 year of eligibility now because he's arguing that if he did not go pro, this would be his senior year.
I'm just trying to present something. I'm actually surprised this hasn't happened sooner in the NIL world. Like this, I'm not surprised this story has happened. Obviously, the NCAA has to get some kind of control, but the NCAA in these circumstances, what can we do? That kind of standpoint. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But if he spent it as, I'm going back to get an education and go from there, it's stupid. It really is stupid.
No one's stopping him going back to school. He can go sit in, chemistry class, in literature, and major in whatever he wants. He can go back to school.
He can do that.
It's playing. That's the thing. It's playing D1 athletes, and he, the quote that I just read off from Bailey here, the tail end of it, I went to go play professionally and I learned a lot and I went through a lot. So why not me? Well, to answer the question and to go back to what Moon was saying, there's rules that you knew what the deal was when you made the jump pro. Nobody kept this a secret. Nobody changed a rule. This has been the deal since amateur athletics were or the NCAA was the NCAA. You jump to the pros, you can't come back and play. It's been pretty much that. I mean, Jim Thorpe lost gold medals. It was Olympic gold, but it was the same amateurism. You were paid to play. You can't have these. Now, that was completely bullshit, but still, that's how seriously they took that back in the day. And that's gone. I'm not pretending that that's around here at all anymore. But the rule is you go to the NBA, you cannot come back. It's not that hard. And why not him? Because why not anybody who does it? That's like me saying, hey, officer, I know you pulled me over for going 40 and a 25. But I'm a good driver. Why not me? Why not me not break the speed? Because the rule is there for people not to break. It's not hard. Why not you? Because you knew what you didn't get screwed over. This is not an unexpected, unforeseen circumstance. You looked at UCLA 2 years ago and said, peace, I'm out. I got a better opportunity in the NBA. You ended up screwing up. Maybe not screwing up the opportunity, but maybe misjudging your talent level, misjudging the organization. It didn't work out. That's what the game you were playing. That's why they tell you to stay in school. That's why you have bad agents out there telling every kid out there, yeah, you can go to the pros. You can go to the pros. I can make money off you. You can go to the pros. People tell these kids not to listen to that bad advice, but they still do. And there are consequences to be paid. I understand you are a high school athlete from this country and you have not been told no since you were in 7th grade. Guess what? You're almost 21 years old now. It's time to you're an adult. Sorry, you made a bad decision. You got to deal with it, dude. I'm sorry.
Can LeBron go to college and play college ball?
If he retired from, he might not even have to retire from the NBA. He could be an active player and just put an injunction in saying, yeah, I believe since I've never played in college, I have 4 years of eligibility. I want to play for Ohio State tomorrow.
Dude.
And do that on off days for the Lakers.
Dude, And that would be, on a side note, that would be all day Inside Edge Network coverage. I would not get off the air all day. But
Watching LeBron dunk on some 19-year-old chemistry major who was worried about, asking the girl across the hall out for a date.
Dude, LeBron, man.
I would love LeBron at Ohio State.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Ohio State would love LeBron at Ohio
Yeah,
State.
I would love LeBron at Ohio State. Man, can you imagine Rich? Never mind.
It'd be crazy to be like, my little brother was in college at the same time as LeBron James at Ohio State.
Well, no. If LeBron said, okay, I played with Bronny, how about I go enroll at Arizona and go play with Bryce?
It just makes no sense. It just makes it's like, when are we gonna? We all have consequences and choices we have to make in life, and there's good and there's bad. And the good for Amari Bailey is he can figure it out in the NBA and put in the work to get better. That's what he's done every level to get to the NBA. The bad is, you can't go back, bro. I mean, you can't. Like, unfortunately, that is just the way it works. Don't you think Derek Williams, when he was a number 2 overall pick, being talked about in that Kyrie Irving 2011 draft class, don't you think Anthony Bennett? I mean, there's so many names you would think that would want to go back, but they didn't have that option. So why are we granting it? And I think that's my final point on this. We are getting to a point where it is getting too wild west in college, to where we are just not even allowing kids to make decisions that are final with your career.
Well, and it's how toothless the NCAA is. They try to put these rules down, and then somebody files an injunction, and they just can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I don't mean to put my hand up like I'm a student here. I revisited this ESPN article, and now it kind of makes sense. It's the very last paragraph. Bailey, who appeared in a reality television show about basketball moms in his early teens before moving to Los Angeles to play on the same high school team as Bronny James. So, that all kidding aside about the story, this guy is seeking attention because he's not a name that a lot of people were talking about at all. But he's seen the power of reality television, and all he wants to do is play this process out on television. He's not taking any of this seriously. He really isn't.
No, I'm not. And again, but somebody's going to try to pick him up, and he's talking about developing, and continuing his basketball journey. Dude, the college basketball season's 3/4 done. Like, you got one more month of games, and you're in conference tournaments, and then the tourney itself. What do you like? You want to burn a year of eligibility on a month and a half of basketball? Okay, whatever. Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm siding with you, Double A, is that this dude might not exactly be serious about the game of basketball, and whatever. I mean, I'm sure they'll let him play. I'm sure that this thing will completely open up, and in the NCAA, especially on the basketball side of things, will be the minor league of the NBA. You'll be one kind of guy like Cooper Flagg, and you'll be in and out in 1 year and go play in the league, or you won't be quite good enough, so you'll be bouncing around between the G League and Turkey and Arizona and back to the G League and play a year at Gonzaga, and that's just kind of how you'll end up. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, though. We have news and notes here. We got one more story that, Double A being his birthday, he really wanted to hit here, and I'm sure Kyle Cornell, watching along right now, does want us to hit. Not a whole lot of people realize what happened because it was tennis, and it was, quite honestly, somebody not born in this country doing it, and we all know how much we love our foreigners here in this country. Carlos Alcaraz, he wins the Australian Open. He is now a Grand Slam champion, all four. The Aussie, the U.S. Open, the French Open, and
Wimbledon.
How can I forget Wimbledon?
Come on, Rob.
The nice thing is that he did this all right before he can actually now have a legal drink in the United States and celebrate his champion, because he's 21. And he has now done something that not a lot of other tennis players have. And if you do, you're doing that more of like late 20s, early 30s, not 10 years before. We might have kind of another phenom on our hands, basically the Tiger Woods of tennis. I know he has his rivals, but it seems like Alcaraz right now anyway, has a door open to walk into a room that not a lot of other people can. Maybe Tiger, Gretzky, Michael Jordan, just for being so good so early and being able to put up a career resume like this.
He could be considered, all kidding aside, he could be considered the greatest of all time before the age of 25. Like, it could happen. And I don't know if he's going to hit that majors record. It looks like, let's see, Djokovic, I think the magic number is 24. That's the number of majors that Djokovic has right now. So you wouldn't be able to hit that until almost 30. But this dude is just crushing opponents right now. He has all the tools, at least from this casual that watches a bit of tennis. Like, this dude is an absolute beast right now. And I'll say this, even though he's not from here, he's loaded with charisma. And if the networks, I know TNT did a phenomenal job with the French Open coverage last year. If they're pushing these guys, the way we looked at Michael Jordan back in the day, early on, when you knew MJ could be the GOAT, Tiger Woods, when you knew, he could be legitimately the GOAT. We are at that stage right now with Alcaraz. Like, this guy legitimately could be the greatest star in men's tennis history right now. And he's crushing it. His style of play is exciting, too. It's exciting to watch him play. I think he could do it. I really believe he could be that dude.
Yeah, my thoughts on this, not the biggest tennis guy. Started to get into it over the last year or so. But I think really it's an interesting time. We talked about Scottie Scheffler last week in golf. We talk about Carlos Alcaraz. And just, I think the world, we're going to probably talk about that before we get out of here too, but just the world's looking for something different. It's a really crazy world we live in right now. It's a sad world. And I think the world's looking for entertainment, sources of things to step out into. And we might see a resurgence in tennis and golf in the United States. Maybe a popular presence just for some people to escape and see some good feel-good stories. Like Carlos Alcaraz, that's an amazing story. I mean, it's cool to see. And same thing with like I said, Scheffler or golf, and just these guys we want to typically talk about 10 years ago on Main Event. But I think it's exciting in a world that's looking for alternatives. They might start turning back to tennis and golf, especially with stories like Alcaraz, like Scheffler. I think that's what's really, really interesting. I mean, for goodness sakes, we talked last week on Netflix. They were showing Alex Honnold and climbing, skyscraper or climbing a skyscraper in Taipei. I think the world's looking for unique, different stories, people doing incredible feats, and Carlos Alcaraz is definitely handling that in tennis doubly, and I'll definitely be tuning in a lot more than I haven't. So I'm excited.
Real quick, I'm just looking at this on the side. So in order for Alcaraz to break the all-time majors record, realistically, I guess, he would need to average 2 major wins a year until he's 31. Right now he's 22. So if he won at least 2 majors every year for the next 9 years, he could break the record. And 2 out of 4 at his rate is possible. It's definitely possible.
Well, he has a record right now, Joker.
Nadal. Oh, is it Joker? Okay, my apologies.
Okay, well, the other thing to keep in mind with the all-time record, he beat Djokovic in the finals. So Djokovic isn't done. I mean, he's on the way of being done, but there's still a chance that could get a little bit bigger. But I think where Alcaraz is going to be a little bit more, and we'll see how it shapes up over the next few years. I think what's going to benefit him compared to maybe this last generation of players, the Federers, the Nadal, and the Jokers of the world, is that there were 3 of those guys. They were all beating up each other for major championships. I'm sure there will be, there are a couple of young players right now that are challenging Alcaraz here and there. I'm sure one will emerge as kind of a chief rival, but for right now, he's kind of running roughshod over the men's division. And, keep in mind, he's 21 years old, career Grand Slam. Pete Sampras does not have the career Grand Slam. John McEnroe does not have the career Grand Slam. Bjorn Borg does not have the career Grand Slam. Jimmy Connors does not have the career Grand Slam. So, yes, he is definitely in a spot where, as long as he doesn't screw it up, he will have a pretty good chance at least being high on that list, if not at the top of it. Now, let's just hope that, maybe, we're comparing him to Tiger Woods and stuff like that. Let's just, for his sake, he doesn't need his wife throwing a 9-iron through the back window of his car and, finding out a bunch of Waffle House waitresses. Like, as long as he stays on the straight and narrow and keeps his eye on the prize, I think he'll be fine.
Now, think about real quick. Actually, Eli, you go, because I have another point here. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
just my only other thought is just, we talk about the young guns here in all these sports and in tennis specifically. Keep in mind that, there's another guy, Yannick Sinner, who is an
That's
Italian.
what I was trying to think of. Yeah, okay, that was the name.
Yannick Sinner. So he actually, for Australian Open, he had won 24 and 25. And he actually been the first guy to do that since Djokovic in 2021. So at 24 years old, we might, I get Alcaraz is on a faster track to greatness, but Yannick Sinner might start making some noise. He's still 24 years old, and I think that's super exciting just to see some fresh faces in the sports world. We talked about it with the NFL, not to completely bring it all over there, but the playoffs were exciting because there was a lot of fresh faces, and this is literally what we're talking about here in tennis, golf, and all around AA.
Yeah, they both met in the final in Wimbledon and the French Open last year, I believe. Those two facing off. But I do want to bring it back to Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods because, when they both were at the point where Alcaraz is at now, where it's like both of those guys are young, but you knew at a moment of time, they could be an all-time GOAT. And it was kind of like that breakthrough moment. Let's think of Michael Jordan back in 92. Let's think Tiger Woods back in 99 or 2000. Both of those guys went in different directions due to life, right? Where achieving an all-time record might have been in danger. I mean, who knew when Michael Jordan retired after 93 that same MJ could come back and win 3 more titles? And then
even on top of that, even just the, could he come back? But, you just look at it with, the hindsight involved. He lost 2 titles out of that. He won 6 out of 8. The 2 years they didn't win, he didn't play. First year, he was completely out. The second year, he was out for half the season. They weren't really, anything. So, he cost, and what does 8 titles do compared to 6?
Yeah. And then Tiger Woods, and Rob, you can speak to this, in 99 and 2000, what did you tell us during the pre-show? What you thought about Tiger at that time?
Well, I mean, it was just kind of the normal thing where, Tiger, you could actually place a bet, Tiger versus the field, and Tiger was favored. Guys didn't win 8, 9, 10, 11 titles and, PGA tournaments in a season. Nobody even really thought about a calendar Grand Slam, either with, the Tiger Slam that we've all kind of become accustomed with. That wasn't a thing, obviously, before Tiger Woods. And if you would have asked anybody in 2005, 6, 7, 2005, that what Tiger's career prognosis was, it was going to be destroying Jack Nicklaus's record. I don't think there was even any debate on if he could or not, because again, he was like Alcaraz, he was just so good, so young, winning the Masters at roughly the same age Alcaraz is right now. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same situation. And yeah, the only person we found out over the next 20 years that could really beat Tiger Woods was Tiger Woods.
Mm-hmm. And I'll throw one other name, and this is more of a team sport standpoint, but I think Tom Brady would fit in this category too. I mean, we thought, 3 out of 4 Super Bowls early in his career, he was going to go on a banner of Super Bowls, and he went almost a decade. Actually,
and all he did was add the record for Super Bowl rings from a player. But
he went a decade without winning a title. And then all of a sudden, late in his career, bang, 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 bang. So you just never know. This kid, 21, 22 years old, it's there. It's there for him to be the GOAT. But we all know life happens. And it ain't a guarantee that that stretch, even with the talent, will continue. And we're not even talking about potential injuries or anything like that. But what an accomplishment to this point.
All righty, that's news and notes. So we have a couple more stories, but you know what? It's 20 after 1, and we're going to try to get out of here as close to 1:30 as humanly possible. This is the main event here on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. I'm Rob Rozycki. We got Eli Moon, AA Anthony Alford. Who wants to do the lead off on this, or do you want me to take it?
You two are going first.
All right, Rob, I'll defer to you this week since you've been closing us out. Why don't you start us off this week?
Yeah, it's okay. So what I have learned the last week, I think I can really say, like everybody, we were learning some new things about some very famous people and some very powerful people starting, Friday morning. A little over 3 million documents were released in relationship with the Epstein files and all of his transgressions throughout the years and who had been helping him out. And I think it's pretty just useless right now and pretty obvious, I guess, would probably be a better word to say that what these guys are being accused of, and I'm not going to go into it because, quite honestly, I don't want to get thrown off of YouTube. What these guys are being accused of, including the President of the United States and some very high-ranking people in federal government with him. Bill Clinton's also involved. I don't want to have everybody, the partisans, come after me right now. But folks in entertainment are also involved. Jay-Z is involved. Harvey Weinstein is involved. Pusha T is also involved in that same story. We're seeing a lot of people from a lot of walks of life being sucked into this. And again, I think it's pretty obvious to say that if any of these people have done 5-10% of what they've been accused of, then they need to be removed from their jobs, even if it is the President of the United States, and subject to a massive criminal investigation and possible trial. And that's only because it's not constitutional to throw you in a wood chipper. You need to go. And again, I think it's pretty easy to say that. But what I'm going to be looking for the next couple of weeks, months, however long the fallout is going to take, is how are these institutions who are hiring these people, who are employing these people, who are being represented by these people, are going to handle this. Ohio State, one of their big donors, Leslie Wexner, he is all over these files. And it's not a small cross section here. He was involved with Jeffrey Epstein, according to these emails. He is a massive donor to Ohio State. He is a big, big deal. And we're now starting to hear that the president of Ohio State, their board of trustees anyway, knew that there was some situation going on between him and Epstein when they were taking the money. What does Ohio State do about that? We are seeing a lot of owners, because this is lifestyles of the rich and famous. By the way, Robin Leach, don't Google him if you like him, because don't. But along with these guys, the chair of the Olympics the LA Olympics in 28, Casey Wasserman, he was mentioned. Steve Tisch, the co-owner of the New York Giants, was mentioned. The owner of Chelsea and a co-owner, or a part limited owner of the Dodgers and Lakers. Paul Allen, the former Seahawks owner. I know his family wants to sell the team after the Super Bowl anyway. I wonder if the timing has anything to do with this. Josh Harris, we all know that name. Owner of the Commanders, the Sixers, the New Jersey Devils. We're talking 3 major sports leagues. Along with, he is slated to own the WNBA team in Philadelphia. David Tepper, owner of the Carolina Panthers. Stephen Ross, owner of the Miami Dolphins. Robert Kraft, also mentioned in these emails. Dan Snyder, former owner of the Washington Redskins. So if you're the Washington Commanders right now, your former owner and your current owner were mentioned in this. Part owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins was mentioned. Ziggy Wilf, the owner of the Minnesota Vikings. Now, if you go to frontofficesports.com, and this is the list I'm working from, they will explain that some of these owners, like Ziggy Wilf, was looking, found a found a real estate listing and contacted the owner of the house, wanted to buy it, and it ended up being Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, I get, again, the varying involvement is different for everybody here. But if any of these owners, if any of these power players are involved to the extent that maybe the president of the United States is, or that Harvey Weinstein, or that Jay-Z is involved, if any of these guys do indeed truly have blood on their hands, and that's what we're talking about. We're talking about rape. We're talking about assault. We're talking about murder. That's what we are talking about. It is a big deal. And if any of these guys are connected, I want to see what the NFL does, what the NBA does, Major League Baseball, if they have to get sucked into this, what Hollywood does. Jay-Z's a pretty popular guy. What the music industry does. I want to see how these institutions handle this. And if they do not pass my test, then I guess I won't have any time for them. And that is the NFL, and that is the NBA. You better handle this right, or you are going to lose a lot of faith, trust, and money. That's what I learned this week.
What we should have had is like the rolling credits as you were mentioning all those names. Like, here they go. And
now, in fairness, when it comes down to a lot of these owners, some of them, Epstein just asked them if they wanted to have lunch and they said no. There are some, just chance, it looks like, meetings in these files. Now, I want to say straight up, before anybody calls a lawyer, that just because your name is in the files doesn't mean you're guilty of all these things. But I think if your name's in the files, it warrants an investigation, and you need to fix it. And these leagues need to make sure that these reputations don't get dragged through the mud.
By the way, real quick, before you go, Eli, my family and I, we watched Draft Day. I'm not going to give you a full review of Draft Day, but I forgot Diddy is in that movie. He actually has a big role in that movie.
Yeah, he plays Nelly's agent, right? Is that Nelly? No, that's not Nelly. Who's that? Who plays the running back in that?
I forgot, but no, he was managing Bull Callahan.
Oh, he was Callahan's agent. Yeah,
yeah. And as soon as Diddy showed up on the screen, my mom looked. She's like, I feel disgusted already. I don't care if this movie is over a decade old. It's just icky right now. But yeah, that's woo. We're way short of time to open that pack of thoughts that I have about that news that broke on Friday. But we'll stay on top of it because there's a lot to unpack on that.
Oh, I'm going to stay on top of it. No problem at all.
Actually, staying on top of it is probably a bad choice of words. We'll follow it. We'll keep it going. Sorry, Eli. Start talking.
Okay. I'll just say that's just sad, and I'll watch the F-bomb because I'm sure my mom's watching the replay, so I'll watch it. Okay, what I learned this weekend.
Foster, he played the running back. I'm back.
Who was it?
Arian Foster.
That's right. Okay, cool.
Heck yeah. All right. What I learned this weekend. Yeah, so this one's gonna be a little tough, so I apologize if I have a little bit of trouble speaking about it. But I think it's important to be said. Just with what I've dealt with for the last 15 years of my life, at least knowing of it, and that's mental health. I'm big on advocate of mental health, and you'll hear me say it on the show. Take care, you hear my Papa Moon say, check on your loved ones, check on your neighbors, check on your friends, check on everybody, because you never know what somebody's going through. When I was like 13 or 14, fellas, I was having a lot of trouble in my house. As far as my family loves me, let me be clear. I was having trouble operating day-to-day life, and my mom and pops were worried. And I was taken care of as a kid. in my whole life. Mom and dad, they made my lunch, took me to school, paid for everything I needed. I was in sports. I was doing everything. I had two siblings. I still have them, my sister and brother, who I love very much. I was in a loving household, but I still felt at a young teenager age that I couldn't get my own self peace. And I was trying to figure out why that is. So my mom and dad took me to the doctors, and I sat down, and we were able to diagnose that I have OCD, which is, for those at home that aren't familiar with OCD, that is obsessive compulsive disorder. It is a chronic mental health condition characterized by uncontrollable, recurring thoughts and repetitive behaviors or mental acts that a person feels driven to perform. These time-consuming, intrusive cycles often cause significant distress and interfere with daily functioning, though they are treatable with therapy and medication. That's just a breakdown of OCD. They also diagnosed me with anxiety and depression at a later date, about a few years later. I was bullied hard in high school. So this was around the same time I started in high school. I was bullied very hard for my weight, and I didn't understand why I was having so much trouble getting along with people in school and having trouble focusing at home. And I didn't understand how to live day-to-day life. So since I was 13 years old, 14, I've been on this medication. I've went through a few therapists. I'm with a great one right now. And I'm with a great psychiatrist. But I went through trial and error, medicine, and that one not working after a month or two, or this and that, and just feeling like I'm broken. It's tough. Here I am at 28 years old, and I'm telling you, it is still tough some days to get on this air, to go out and step into the way that I am. So what I'm talking about here is something that affects 1 to 3% of the global population. So they're estimating nearly 240 million people worldwide suffer from the condition. About 1 in 40 adults and 1 in 100 to 1 in 200 children are estimated to have OCD. I didn't find out about this till I was a teenager, and for a long time, I would have these moments where I had to count. Let me explain this, and I'm sorry to be long-winded. I know we're at 1:33, but for anybody out there that sees a friend that may pivot a little differently, or have to check the doorknob twice, or step into a room and step back out into a room and count their steps, and do certain movements, those are things of OCD. You have your tics, physical, to make you feel all right, because you feel like at times you're a fucking monster. And excuse my language, but you feel like you're a monster. You go through that plus the thoughts. And in a world that's so messed up nowadays, I am having a tough time with my mental health. And I'm going to be very open right now and tell everybody I'm okay and I'm going to be all right. But I'm having a tough time. And Rob touched on some of the stuff that's going on in the world the last few weeks. We've talked about it. I am having a tough time in a world that is losing its moral compass with a sickness that literally thrives off of everything being morally correct. So I want to tell you out there, it's okay to love your friends that seem a little off. I'm telling you, there's somebody at home right now watching this that may feel like a monster some days. They can't get out of the house. I'm telling you, put a smile on, keep pushing, and just get with the right mental health therapists, psychiatrists, the people around you that love you. Because there are days I don't want to step out of the house, and it's tough. I handle the bookings and press for LaHaye, my music collective. I'm here with the Inside Edge Network with these guys and all throughout the week. And there are days I cannot find a way to get out of bed and just make a cup of coffee because I hate myself some days. This is what this OCD does. It mixed with anxiety and depression. And I just want anybody out there that feels like a monster with that, whatever mental health battle you're struggling through right now, it is okay to struggle, but it is not okay to stay silent. It is not. So please speak out if you're feeling some type of way. You are not a monster. Because if I'm sitting here right now and telling you can achieve great things, you are not a monster. And I believe in you. And I think it's time we raise awareness, because OCD, I think, and this is what I'll finish with. I apologize for the long ramble, but OCD is something, in all respect to everybody out there, somebody says, oh, I got to clean my room, it's OCD. And that may be a form of it. There are different forms of OCD. But I think the natural thing of everybody calling OCD just cleaning or wanting things organized sometimes doesn't get the full scope of it. There are days I have to walk in and out of a room 10 different times just to understand that I'm okay. So what I learned this weekend is I need to really buckle down even harder on my mental health. I have a therapy appointment this week for everybody out there that's wondering, and I have a psychiatrist appointment this weekend. And I'm going to take care of my mental health, and I surely hope everybody out there that is struggling knows it's okay to struggle, but we gotta just keep pushing. I believe in you. I love you. And yeah, that's what I learned this weekend, that I'm struggling, but I believe that we're gonna get out of this.
Eli, I just want to make clear that that you are loved, you are appreciated. Like, everyone loves you, man, and we thank you every single day for being you, and it's okay to be you each and every single day. And I don't know, other than, like, you guys are a part of family, and Eli, every day that you wake up, that's another day that you've won. The man upstairs woke you up this morning. You got the W already. You got the W already. And you got a great heart, and you're doing it. You are doing it. You are doing it. And even if you are having a bad day, you're battling. Like, you're doing the things right. So I just want to say I'm proud of you. I don't mean to speak for Rob, but I'm sure he's proud of you too. Everyone's proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and what I was going to say too was, and this kind of coincides with a little bit of a sports story too, if we want to take it back there for half a second. If you're not familiar with the Ottawa Senators goalie, Linus Ullmark, I believe he's a Vezina Trophy. He's, pretty good goalie. He missed 35 days because he needed a mental health break. He needed to step away. He came back today. He was actually on the road. I believe it was in Montreal, and he got a standing ovation from the away crowd. He was very supportive. It was a good story, and I think we're starting to see now, maybe through guys, like Ullmark, or even a dude like Kevin Love, who's talked about this kind of stuff, where this is becoming a little bit more normalized because, I'm still kind of at the tail end of the generation of, if you have an emotional problem, you just shut up, you hold it inside until you die of a heart attack like a real man. So, I think we're starting to kind of see a little more openness to that. And it looks like to me that, like almost any problem, like any issue out there, communication solves most of it. So, just as long as everybody knows what's going on and everyone's kind of understanding to what's going on, I think the world will be a better place. And yeah, dude, I mean, you annoy me at times. I mean, your sports takes kind of suck sometimes. The beer's a little funny. You look kind of like an Amish, like if you were like at an Amish rave. That's kind of how that would work. But yeah, I mean, yeah, dude, I've known you for 10 years. We've been in our lives for 10 years for a reason. I don't think that there's really, any debate on your value here and your value just, in your world. So yeah, I mean, we're here for you. I mean, unless it's the beard man, I'd maybe want to.
I appreciate it, fellas. I appreciate it. Double A.
I gotta grab something real quick. Talk for like 30 seconds, Phil.
Well, I guess I'll take this time to take a breather and get myself back together and say, if you enjoyed all the content this last week of Browns coverage, thank you so much. If you are seeing the ticker at the bottom, Inside Edge Network is at Inside Edge Net on all the socials. Make sure you hit follow, subscribe, so you know when we're going live next. We do have Inside Edge Prime Time with myself and Chad Bryan at 10 to 11 o'clock tomorrow. Special guest narrator, my big bro from LaHale. Going to be talking about the Cavs and Dennis Schroeder. So that's what I got.
And I'd like to thank Double A for having a show that's going 40 minutes long, figuring out a way to just get it going a little longer.
No, did you expect anything else?
Nikki will.
I'm not. There will be a week where we do this show for like 90 minutes and just. All right, here we go. For me, I feel more comfortable thanking everybody else for my birthday and everything. That video earlier was unbelievable. Thank you guys for putting that together. That was unbelievable. That was crazy. And I could spend all this time talking about everybody, and I want to, but I need to talk about myself for a few seconds before we call it a night, because I never do. I'm 34 now, but I feel better than I ever have before. And professionally, there's a ton of reasons. This network's a big part of it. And I've explained that. But I've had to clean myself up. Because for a while, I didn't think I was, handling business. So a couple years ago, I made the physical choice to start going to the gym 2 to 3 times on a good week, 4 times a week. And I have a schedule laid out for when I go. And the big reason why I travel to the gym is because I work from home. So it forces me to get out of the house. But what I've learned from that journey, a lot more mental health of me looking inward with myself as opposed to the physical side of things. Although I will say from a physical standpoint, I do look good. So I will point that out too. But from a mental standpoint, no matter how bad or good, whatever the day has gone, for the 2 hours that I'm at the gym, or hour and a half, 60 minutes, I'm happy every single time, even if I'm killing my body to get stronger. That's my time. But I was running away from something much bigger than that. Months ago, Eli and I and Kyle, and who else was there? Jake.
Jake, yep.
Jake, who you saw in the video. We were at Kyle's place, and we spent, Eli, correct me if I'm wrong, we spent, 2-3 hours?
Yeah.
Talking about God, talking about the Spirit and all that stuff. For most of my adult life, for reasons I don't want to get into right now, I've had an internal battle with religion. I've always believed in in God and Jesus Christ and the man upstairs. Always. Not a problem whatsoever. I'm, there through thick and thin. But for reasons or not, I've always had this internal battle with religion for certain reasons, not due to anybody in particular or anything like that, but there were things that I thought of that's just like, I don't know about that. But I had to look inward with myself, and I realized that for the first 33 years of my life, I barely opened this up. I couldn't tell you. I mean, there's important stuff in this book. Couldn't tell you. And in the last month, I listened to, I think it was Jake. I listened to him. He was going on a rant on his radio show about something, and it's just like, dude, why are you so worried? He's talking to another caller. It's like, you're worried about what's going on in here on this phone and stuff. It's like, put the phone down, get off social media, touch grass, and read the Bible. I don't know why that statement hit me hard, because I was going through some stuff internally. When you're here by yourself, you think about a lot of stuff for no reason, and sometimes it takes over your mind. And last year, I went through a lot last year, and I found a church that is not locked into any religion. This is one thing they believe in, and it's out of this. So I've made an effort to get more connected with God. And for me, I don't want to sit here and talk religion at all. Everybody believes what they believe in, and it's cool. I'm cool. And I am not here to judge, because that was the one thing that turned me away for a lot of years, was looking at somebody else and somebody saying, oh, just because you don't believe in this, you're not as good as me. I hate that. That's what turned me away for years. But for me and my connection to God, that's what has brought me to this point right now. And I'm just now learning about a book that I should have known about for years and years and years. It's better late than never for me. And I feel pretty good. I'm blessed that I have a great family, great friends, the brotherhood across the board, all the support. I'm very thankful. And I'm most of all thankful to all of you guys for watching and tuning in each and every single week. I hope you guys watching are getting to learn about the three of us, learn about our network, learn about us, and know that none of us are perfect, not even close. If we were perfect, we wouldn't be here. So thank you guys for your support. Thank you for your love and kindness. And every day we get an opportunity to wake up, that's just another day where we can be great. And, you know, bring that positivity, bring that, you know, better the world, that kind of thing. So now that I'm 34, I feel great.
I'm 34.
I feel great. I don't have children, so that's a good thing, I guess.
You have won the game, sir.
Yeah.
You have.
I don't have
You don't
children.
need to be 22 years old looking at a little life form that's crying and it's going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't have kids. I have student loans. I have credit card debt, but I don't have children. So from that,
That's fine. You can't get charged for endangering them. You're okay. You're okay.
From that standpoint, I feel great. Let's just continue to win. I'm eating better and all that stuff. And yeah, let's do this. And also, on a complete sidebar, Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble was the right call. When your top star goes on McAfee and says that for the last 2 years that creative has sucked, and what do we need to do to fix it? Put me back in the main event of WrestleMania. The dude won. So, so how about that? And how about them empty seats at the Royal Rumble?
I have seen better crowds with, you know, Guardians versus Tigers May 11th on a Wednesday.
So supposedly, real quick, the story was those lights that they put on the seats. I guess there were people there, but
they were just invisible.
I guess
it's like telling me that Chad Gable was under that El Grande Americano mask. No, it wasn't. It's El Grande Americano.
We got a lot to break down, by the way, on Side Hustle. Myself,
I'm glad you guys are in charge of handling that dumpster fire. I was, dear God. I had to watch the 1992 Rumble before the show started just to clear the palate here. But yeah, this is the main event here on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. Double A Anthony Alford, Eli Moon, and I have had apparently a pretty intense week, judging by what we have learned. But
we all did, man. I mean, we all did.
But the other thing is too is like, and what I'm noticing is you know, and to kind of bring it back to the current events and what's happening in the country right now, it's a trying time for everybody, and I think the stress is coming out differently for everybody, and some people can, you know, figure out a way to leave the fear and the uneasiness that the current events right now are bringing. Some people have a little bit, you know, tougher of a time. I know I have people in my life who have a tough time doing that too. And it all kind of manifests itself differently, and we all kind of really have to figure out how to deal with that and how to be fully functional people, because, you know, you don't want that to be your entire life. You don't want to be screaming. You don't want to be, you know, really concerned about stuff that's happening in some cases half a country away. You know, maybe it might be a good idea to, just wake up and smell the roses and take a walk, throw a football around, and talk to people. It might not be a bad idea for that, and that's what we all kind of do. And what you also have to do is kind of keep an eye out for everybody else around you. Just because you may be having a decent time with this doesn't mean everybody else is. And the last thing you want is losing anybody out of this because of stuff that's, again, happening in Washington or half a country away or halfway around the world. Just kind of figure out a way to stay grounded and not lose your way throughout these. They will be over. It will be over at some point in time. It will be over. It feels like it never will be. It will be over. We'll be okay. Also, I saw this little bit of breaking news. Well, I guess it's not breaking news. It's a few hours old. You guys realize the Browns are going to Paris?
I believe, I guess the Saints?
Yeah, October 25th.
Uh-oh.
Be happy about that.
We might have to get a watch along. We might have to get an Inside Edge Network watch along with our Saints fan.
No, I'm going to, we could do, or we could see if we have the budget to send the four of us over there to do a live remote.
Oh, you know what that means, though, right?
We'll go to Paris?
Our pregame show guys are going to have to go on the air at 6 a.m.
I think that's a sacrifice we'll make to go to Paris.
Paris, I think 7 hours up. So, yeah.
Who's my final question to the show is who's footing that bill, though?
I mean,
log off the stream right now.
Clay is the program director, so I think he would be much more equipped to answer that question. I'm talent, so I can write checks my ass can't cash. That's what Moon. That's what our jobs are. Double A. His job is to tell us that we're stupid and the idea that we have is not actually viable in real life. So,
give us the itinerary, or just give us the itinerary for Paris.
I'm fine with it. Bye, Double A. All right. Double A, happy birthday. Okay. I didn't know if you just got the hell out of here. Happy birthday on that note, Double A.
That would have been perfect just to exit. I'm sorry. Foot the bill. Nah.
Well, I mean, we could talk to Peter.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that was a very warm response there. Okay, cool.
No, you can talk to Pete. You can talk to Pete.
Yeah, we can talk to Pete. We're going to lose that conversation real quick. But for everybody here on camera, again, happy birthday, Double A. We have Eli Moon. I am Rob Rozycki. It was 1 o'clock. It was 1:15. Then it was 1:30. And now it is 1:53. We are finally signing off. Thank you to the 117 souls that have stuck with us throughout this entire process. We could not do it without you. Again, for everybody here, Eli Moon, Anthony Alford, I am Rob Rozycki. This is the main event on the Inside Edge Podcasting Network. We'll see you next week.